Welcome. Midweek point and click. Another episode. We are going into Hobbs Barrow tonight for the first time. Super excited for this one. How you doing, Steve?
Hey, not bad. Hope everyone can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. We'll see about the chat in a moment. You've got a new avatar this game. Some character from this title, but we don't know who yet. Picked a random person.
Let's hope he's not like a pedophile child murderer or something like that.
Yeah, let's hope not. All right, so I don't know anything about this game at all. I know that it's a Vinny Caravella favorite. Steve's volume could be louder. Okay, that's good to know because sometimes we have to adjust Steve.
It's time for a montage.
Yeah, that's a secret command there for another stream, Toms. I'm glad you tested it out though. All right, let me crank Steve up for a second. Put you at 122%. How about that, Steve? Give us a test. Give us a 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3 testing.
Cool. Yep, that's good for me. Gaera, does it meet your requirements? Do you have enough Steve in your life? Yeah, this game I think this is a horror point and click game from what I can tell. I mean, there's scary shit already, right? Lanx is in here.
Looks like an adventure game, except when it's because we're watching this idol and it does that occasional horror, like a little scary morph thing.
Yeah, I do know that the trailer had some sort of scary cat as well. Love that Lank. Wow, Lanks. Now that we've got, let me write that one down. I'm going to come up with something for you. That's for sure. Happy Easter. Love that. Cool.
There's also the thing of, I don't know if it's intentional or whether it's just one of those, because even though it's drawn, they could still do the trick. The sort of mirror trick, this thing that sometimes someone, when you take a photo of someone next to a mirror, they look completely different in the reflection because you'd be surprised how much the angle affects how you see someone.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's like that or whether they intentionally draw it so she's confident going to where she's going and then the reflection looks a bit frightened and uncertain.
There is that, I don't know if you've seen it, there's a famous photo of a little child on a train. You could probably Google it. But it's an exact scenario of what we see here where someone's taken a photo and the expression on the child's face is different to the one, and apparently it hasn't been doctored. It's just the way that the camera worked or something that time. I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah, you should check it out. It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I showed a picture of my haircut and they said, "Is that you?" I was a bit insulted.
Yeah. So remind me. Speaking of kids on trains, do you know of the Back to the Future 3?
Oh, the jacking off motion?
Yeah, or pointing to his junk. Doesn't actually do a jacking off.
Yeah,
but yeah, does it come hither motion? The one who doesn't know it. The bit at the end where Doc has two kids, names them after two scientists. I forget which one. Like Newton and Edison or something like that, or Newton to Tesla. And one of the little kids, because he's not in front of center, so it's hard to notice, but he does this come hither motion, like in a partially hidden manner. There's this like little come hither motion, and he points to his crotch and nods while doing a smirk. Like, yeah, you want some, like that kind of smirk. He's this little 6-year-old little shit.
Doesn't like that kid. Steve hates him.
I don't hate him, but it is like I think that's when it was described to me. I like that it was described as a little shit, and yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I guess we can begin. I think I mentioned it before, maybe not, but in the trailer there's a scary looking cat. I know Savvy reached out to me to say that she was unsure about it because of that cat. So we'll see how it goes. Tongs, I wasn't a little shit. I was a good boy. Artie Fine's in the house too. How you doing? All right. It's kind of like a cool synthy soundtrack for what looks to be like a olden times era. I mean, we got a lantern here and we got a neckerchief. Let's go. Oh, we're already in. Not even a cutscene. Can't tell if it's you coughing Steve or game.
Not me, but also I don't hear any coughing.
Might have to crank up the stream volume. There was a futuristic volcano. You're right.
Oh yeah, I can hear it. Someone has consumption.
This guy.
Ah, Miss Bateman. Welcome back to Ticehurst House.
A game that's
It's
voice
been
acted.
quite some time. Terrible weather this evening, is it not? Nurse Blaketon has had enough of me smoking inside.
Filthy habit.
Makes her cough, you see.
Makes her
A
cough.
bit of rain will kill me, will it?
Meanwhile, he was hacking up a lung.
How's the volume, guys?
You mustn't be interested in me nattering on. Give my regards to your father. Nurse Blaketon is preparing his supper.
Excellent. Thanks, Tongs. Perfect.
You look pale, Miss Bateman. Do head inside. You'll catch your death out here.
Wonder if she's meant to be a mute or not. Ooh, okay.
So we've the standard video game protagonist. The coffee on the train station reminds me of a scene in The Great Train Robbery. I think it's mostly in the book. I don't know if it's in the. I think it's in the movie.
Dearest mother,
I'll wait till after this.
I hope this letter will reach you.
Looks like I have to click. It's cool to have different focus lengths of the pixel art too. Like different sort of art styles.
I have spent these past years in torment, trying to piece together what remains of fractured memories.
Oh, Gaero, you absolutely are missing out. Every Thursday night, we play point-and-click adventures, so here you are.
What I am about to recount to you will seem beyond comprehension, but I beg for your patience. I will endeavour to explain the events that led me to Ticehurst House that night. As far as I can recall, this whole wretched story started with the receipt of a letter from a Mr. Leonard Shoulder.
What a name.
The letter brought me to the isolated village of Bewley, deep in the moors.
Deep in the Baltimores. Hey! Is. Got an achievement called Arrival.
No station master in sight. I hope the village isn't too far away. I can't recall our exact meeting place. Mr. Shoulder mentioned it in his letter.
Oh, okay, here we go. Tutorial time. Left click to walk, right click to examine. Okay? To access the inventory and menu, move the mouse cursor to the top of the screen. Left click on the inventory item to select it, right click to examine it. Once an inventory item is selected, you can right click to deselect it, and double click on the exit to teleport to it directly. The game will occasionally autosave. You can save anytime via the menu. Escape is the menu. M is a map. Interesting. Very rare that a point and click game has a map.
No, unless it's a hub, but
Yeah. F5 to quick save, F7 to quick load. Space hold. Oh, it's got the indirectable hotspots. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
My mother
Oh.
always told me not to walk on railway tracks.
That's the best advancement in the point and click genre in general is the highlightable hotspots. Love it.
If I take the sign, how would the trains know where to stop?
the instructions made me think of something. Has
Go
there
on.
been a point and click where like you're imprisoned? So it's like a lot of point and clicks do you have there. You're in prison. You got to figure out how to get out, and the solution is to double click the exit so you teleport to it, while using teleport to get past something.
Are you saying that's the thing you've
That'd be-
seen, or
That'd be an interesting thing. I don't think I've seen it. I was sort of asking if any of them had done it.
I don't know.
Hello there. Hello. I ought to read Mr. Shoulder's letter again. I can't recall the name of our meeting place.
Okay, we got some money. We've got a handkerchief and a letter. Dear Miss Bateman, I write this letter in the hope of piquing your curiosity. I read about your expertise in barrows. Oh, that's right. Like barrows is like Barrow White. That could be where the creep factor comes from. If I understand correctly, you are writing a book on them, treasures they contain. I live in the village of Bewley, where a most special barrow can be found on the outskirts. That's your purple volcano there, I think. It is rectangular in form and is certainly tall enough to stand up in. The place is steeped in local legend, and there is a rumor of secrets to be found deep within.
The
I hope
purple
you-
volcano, huh?
What's that?
Huh? Purple volcano, huh?
Yeah?
I don't know. Or maybe it was ruder than it. I thought it was ruder than
Fuck
it
off,
actually
Steve.
sounded.
I hope you will not misunderstand me and find this letter intrusive. If you wish to visit Bewley and excavate the barrow, I will be pleased to be your guide. Please send your response to the Plough and Furrow Inn. Bewley shall wait your letter. Yours respectfully, Old Lenny Shoulder. Dear Miss Bateman, marvellous news. I shall meet you at 8 o'clock in the evening on the 14th of the new month. 2 days ago. At the Plough and Furrow Inn, Bewley. The inn has fine rooms which you will find adequate for your short stay. When we meet, I shall tell you more about the circumstances surrounding the site, which is referred to locally as Hobbs Barrow. It is not located on my own land, but we will have no issue gaining permission to excavate. I wish you a safe journey. There we go.
I must
Oh.
make my way to the Plough and
pilgrim.
Furrow Inn.
It is a pilgrim. Hello, woman.
Excuse me.
Yes,
I'm looking for the Plough and Furrow Inn. Do you know where I can find it?
young lady. Leave the station
Mary.
and follow the dry stone wall for around half a mile. You'll come to Bewley. Go straight ahead and you'll find the market square. The inn is t'other side at square.
Thank you very much. What can you tell me about Bewley?
Well, it used to be a thriving village.
Bewley.
Not so much now. I don't spend much time there these days.
Are you local?
Yes, a local I am, but I don't live in the village.
Where are you travelling to today?
That would be none of your business, young lady.
Quite.
Yeah, road butch.
Apologies. I wish you a pleasant journey. I have nothing else to ask for the time.
100% certified got 'em.
Thanks, Tom. Imagine that though. Like if you were out in public and someone was just making small chit chat to you, let's just say at a traffic light, you're waiting for the crossing to go. They go, "Oh, hey, how you going?" And you go, "Yeah, good." And they go, "Oh, what are you up to today?" Would you go, "That's none of your business," or would you just say, "Oh, I'm just going to the shops," or something like? For me, I think I would just make the conversation and be polite about it and then go on the merry way. Not say, "None of your business," or whatever she said.
Yeah, like it's a thing of like fiction, and it only really happens in fiction in general of someone just being affronted by being asked. But then a random stranger doing it is still kind of off-putting. It's like, what the fuck do you care?
Tong says I need more
Intrigued.
sass, so maybe we're the ones at fault here.
Yeah. So Barrow is the burial thing, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's like an underground crypt, right? That's sort of
Yeah. Oh, I think
like a
it's
mine.
yeah. Someone's buried with their stuff, but it's also buried in such a way that there's a mound on top to mark where they were.
Can, as they
I
say.
think. Yeah. Oh, maybe I'm mixing up with a can. I thought it was, yeah, basically that.
Cans are usually just a pile of rocks on top to mark where things are. I don't think it needs a
Oh, no,
barrow
it's
underneath.
different. I think barrow is like it's like a little mound that the elevation of the ground to mark that someone's been buried.
I think I only know barrows straight from Lord of the Rings with the Barrow
Lord of the Rings,
Wights, which
yeah.
was cut out of the movies, only in the books.
But I think that's what, and there were actual barrows in that too, because it was like the burial of the kings, I think, because that's where they get the sword. They basically grave rob
What
the
brings
barrows
you
for
to Bewley?
swords,
I beg
and
your
that's where he
pardon?
gets the sword
What
that
brings
was
you to
forged
Bewley, miss?
with complete hatred for one of the old kings that became a ring wraith. And
Don't ruin the story of Lord of the Rings, Steve. Not everyone has read it.
Okay, I won't spoil this 40, 50-year-old book. Then.
Isn't it funny though that this old lady just says, "What brings you to Beulah?" Even though when we asked her what she's up to, she's like, "Fuck off," you know.
Yeah.
She looks superstitious, so we're gonna lie.
Just a bit of sightseeing.
We don't get many of your type out here.
My type.
City folks. Curious young ladies.
Lady.
Not much to be seen in Bewley, if you ask me. You're better off waiting for the next train back to the city.
I'll take my chances.
Can't say I didn't warn you.
What if she's the big bad in the game?
That was odd.
Yeah, like a lot of games do that. You've played the DLC, The Witcher 3, right?
No, I didn't. I heard there was a really good one and an okay one.
Yeah, I wonder which is which.
Something about wine being good or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I could sort of see that one. It's weird, that'd be hard to compare for me. But yeah, the other one, not the wine one, but I guess the one that people think is average. The big guy in that is the guy that meets you at the start of Witcher 3, the main story. He just
Okay.
randomly talks to you in the pub, and it's this nothing, sort of like this nothing seen, except he sort of knows a bit more than he should. Otherwise, he sort of appears to be an impoverished merchant, and then he ends up being this more of a supernatural being.
Okay, that's a cool idea.
it's
Like
like
having a
bad,
throwaway character and then becoming something a little bit
Yeah.
more.
It's sort of cool because when you get to the DLC, it's like, oh, him, yeah. Like when he reminds you, because you don't recognize, of course, at first, and he goes, oh. And you have this vague memory of like, oh, I roughly remember that.
Yeah, that is cool. I like that this crow has red eyes. Door, crow, door. We're gonna say hello to the crow. Oh. Just like in real life, when I want to become friends with the crows, they always fly away. If only they could just like, I could talk to them and say, I'm
The
their
old
friend.
woman told me to go straight ahead to get to the inn. I'll have time to explore tomorrow.
I was gonna say
The
this.
old woman told me to go straight. I'll have time.
Music's good. Ominous. Wow, this looks like the Resident Evil 4 village at the start.
The bucket is rusty and full of holes. This must belong to someone. I should leave it alone. I don't wish to disturb the locals. I can't take the sign, nor do I want to. The cross denotes this as the site of a market, or perhaps a site of traditional religious significance.
Is that you swigging a drink?
No, that's in the game.
Interesting. Yeah.
The cobbler's is closed.
Yeah, I just heard it again. You hear it?
The door has been
Yeah.
boarded up. The building looks like a ruin.
Thought it'd be something off screen, but
Yeah, it could be. Maybe it's like a dude drinking out the front.
I don't wish to disturb the locals. The sign is well out of reach.
I think it might be just they're using stock sound for the rain. I think there's like the sound
A
of
small
rain hitting
plaque
something,
beside
but
the door
there's
reads
nothing in the scene that
vicarage.
makes that sound.
The
Ah,
plough
there he
and the
is.
furrow. I have a bit of time before Mr. Shoulder arrives. I should inquire about a room. These flowers look pretty. Someone must take good care of them.
Yeah, it's this guy here. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Hello there. What's the young lady doing out alone in this sodden weather?
Get out of the way, sir. You're drunk.
Hold on now, we've only just met. Why don't we get to know each other?
I'd rather not.
Oh, a feisty one. You'll fit in around here, lass. Give us a kiss now, won't you?
It's like the Ren and Stimpy super zoomed in. It also kind of looks like what's that actor? Benicio del Toro.
I got someone else from that. I think it looks like Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, but you also said that what was it? It was a good one. That Guybrush Threepwood sounds like Matthew McConaughey.
No, it was the different dude from War Games, Matthew Broderick. He sounds exactly like Matthew Broderick.
We're gonna slap him.
How dare you?
That was good. Ooh. There we go.
What a buffoon.
The slap achievement. Nice. Well, we're already 2 minutes in and we've already slapped someone, so that's a good
I
sign.
should speak to the innkeeper about a room.
Usually pay extra.
Steve once again lives up to his name as the filth bag pirate.
I don't want to take the painting with me. Good day, sir.
I said good day, sir. Oh, menu.
I'm not hungry at the moment. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, lass. How can I help you?
I am in need of a room for the night.
Aye, we aren't short of those. One night, is it?
I shall need at least 2 nights, maybe more.
Aye,
Oh.
it's not a problem. 3 shilling per night.
Shillings?
That includes your dinner and tea.
A fair price.
That is a
I'll
fair
need
price.
that payment up front for the 2 nights.
Luckily, we've got all the shillings we need.
I just realized I was trying to
This is
think of
payment
where
for the room.
I heard that accent.
you.
The accent of
Can I
that
ask
first
your
girl
name,
from.
lass?
I think it's
Thomasina Bateman.
Jodie Whittaker,
Will Mr. Bateman
uh,
be staying
sort of-
with us tonight?
natural accent.
No, I am not wed. My assistant is arriving in Bewley tomorrow.
Wed?
Your assistant, you say? Will you be needing another room?
Please.
I'll keep a room spare. It's not quite as nice as yours, I'm afraid.
Not a problem, sir. I'm sure it will be adequate. Kenneth is a man of inexpensive taste.
Here's your key.
So I get penthouse and Kenneth gets
Just
the
go through the door to the right of the bar, then up the stairs.
one with the vibrating bed.
Room number 2.
Thank you.
Can I help you with your luggage?
No, thank you, sir. I can manage. I should go upstairs and freshen up before Mr. Shoulder arrives.
So we know that accent, Steve, from in our found footage feature. There was a game called Little Hope that we went through, and everyone
Okay.
had that accent. And there was this little girl called Mary, and everyone called her Mary. So that's what Tongs was referring to in chat earlier with Mary.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Note for you here.
I beg your pardon?
I said there's note for you here, lass.
Nope.
Be on your way.
Yeah, I must know from Jodie Whittaker, who's
Charming.
the Doctor Who, the female Doctor Who. And she's in an episode of Black Mirror. So there's a few other things.
Pulling the bell would be quite unbecoming of me.
Why is this the pink plate?
I don't wish to take it.
Is it painting?
I don't want to take the painting with me. The painting depicts a rocky edge lake. A small bronze plate states the name Lake Cubilius. A pixie-faced peasant boy, painted in a naive style.
Black Mirror. Good one.
The crackling fireplace is more welcoming than the facial expressions of the locals. A majestic animal cut down in his prime. This painting shows a Rubenesque figure brushing her hair. Quite unusual to see such a sensual work in a room like this.
It's for all the lads.
A colourful work depicting a bashful knight. It is signed N. Hamley.
Yeah, when I had to look it up close because that deer to me looked like a smiling bear. Like, when your eyes don't focus on it properly.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like there's
The mouth.
it's almost like a clown makeup mouth.
Yeah, kind of like that too.
When I was in Paris, this sign here reminds me of it. When we were waiting in line to go up to the Eiffel Tower at nighttime, there was an American tourist, the typical stereotype one where it was a lady with too tight pants, a huge camera around her neck, talking loud as can be over the top of everybody. She sees this sign that says WC Toilette, and she's like, "What does WC Toilette mean?" And it was just the most cringy, embarrassing thing, because it even had like a little picture of a toilet.
They are engaged in an intense discussion.
Oh, she doesn't look too impressed. She's even got the teapot arm.
They are engaged in an intense discussion. A biblical scene of some kind. An angel is depicted looking longingly to the heavens.
Hey,
I
that's
do not need to use the lavatory.
no love for her. Okay. I think we're ready to go to our room then. Oh, it is a nice room.
This shall do nicely. Time to change into something more comfortable.
It's one of those like hotel rooms that only exist in like video games. Oh, she's
Like an Indiana Jones type.
yeah,
Much better.
Oh,
bit of a tomboy.
this is very similar setup to my bedroom actually. Like there's Raman's chair right here, although it's not quite this big. Well, we've got a king bed. so
Yeah,
it's-
like that's the thing like that huge open area with everything at the walls. Like it's very either a set on a TV show or video games mostly have that kind of stuff.
An empty bowl has been provided for washing.
Oh, imagine that. There's no actual bathroom and you just have to wash out of a jug.
I don't wish to carry the bowl around with me.
Can we drink from the jug of water?
A jug of water for drinking or washing.
Or washing?
This may come in handy.
Sweet, our first item.
I've stored my case in there. A box within a box.
Alright, on the bedside table is a candle and something else. Before I hover over it, what do you think it's going to be?
Table.
Yeah, the bedside
By
table.
the name of it.
Yeah, the item that's next to the candle. What do you think it is?
Yes, it can't be a clock.
Oh, tongs. Good call, actually.
Yeah.
I think I'll go with what you say. Oh, there you go.
Ah, complementary matches. Useful.
I don't do that in. Oh, I guess there's less smoking now.
Complementary matches. Useful.
Oink.
There's only one match left, though.
That's some bullshit then.
Oh, shit, yeah.
As the only light source in the room, I ought to leave this here. A decrepit set of drawers. Jammed shut. The wood must have warped over the years.
And this is the penthouse suite?
Jammed shut.
Yeah.
A painting of surprising quality. It portrays a rocky outcrop overlooking a vast moor, perhaps a local landmark. A decorative plate depicting a goat.
Depicting a goat. Interesting.
The wardrobe looks
The matches.
old, perhaps 100 years or more in age.
The matches, like I find that hotel branded matches are used as a plot device in so many pieces of fiction, but they don't do it now, do they?
Oh, it's usually a phone number on the matchbook, right? That you use?
Yeah, or it's usually like a plot device where someone it's like, oh, run out of matches, so here, take mine, and then later on they realize, oh, this person stayed at this hotel, which means blah 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 on matches.
All right, can we go to bed?
I do feel tired after the trip,
Oh, yeah.
but my meeting with Mr. Shoulder must take priority.
She needs to set a timer for 17 minutes and have a power nap. Oh, he wasn't here before. Do you think this is Shoulder?
A curmudgeonly looking old fellow. Hello,
Maybe
sir.
he blended in last
Right.
time.
Do you know a Mr. Leonard Shoulder?
You're not local. You've come on that bloody train, haven't you? It's going to dogs.
My name is Thomasina Bateman, and you are...
None
Thomasina.
of your business, lass. Where's your husband?
None of your business, sir.
Hey.
Ah! You're brave coming in here, all on your own.
I'm a grown woman.
I'm Cyril.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Cyril. Do you know Mr. Shoulder?
That be none of your business, lass. I don't come to your city poking around asking questions, do I? Man just wants to enjoy his ale in peace.
I take it you are not enamoured with the railway station.
Bewley's gonna be swarming with outsiders, like you. We don't want you coming here. It's as simple as that, lass.
Why not?
This is our town, our land.
I assure you I am not here to cause trouble.
We'll see about that, won't we?
What can you tell me about Bewley?
None of
We're
your
a
business.
proud community. I've lived here my whole life. Not much here to interest folks like you.
Folks like me.
Aye.
Bye for now.
Ta-ra, lass.
Hello, miss.
What do you want?
I...
Bugger off.
Hello, sir.
What?
I'm waiting here for a man named Leonard Shoulder. Do you know him?
I don't. Do you, love?
Never heard of him.
There you have it. Now clear off.
Lovely.
Do you know a Mr. Leonard Shoulder?
You ought to be careful asking too many questions round here. Be on your way.
Oh, I don't mean to...
Listen to me, will you? Be on your way.
Do you think there's going to be a puzzle later where we're going to have to swap the plates?
Could be.
I could be thinking,
I
looking
don't
too
think they're
much.
that weird though.
Okay.
'Cause it's just like a plate collection. One of them's just more exotic than the others.
But it's like fish, 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 fish. Purple. Even this one has like a... I don't know. Danish on there or something? Flower?
Good day, sir.
Miss Bateman, you've transformed.
It's
I
called
feel
changing
far more
clothing.
comfortable in my outdoor clothing.
You look like one of those explorers you see in the newspaper.
I guess you could call me an explorer of sorts.
I'm Stanley Kemp.
A pleasure to meet you, Stanley.
And tell me, I trust your room is adequate.
Most adequate.
Excellent.
Except for the matches in the sticky drawers, you bastard. Oh yeah, for those that don't know, this is a Wadjet Eye game. They do sort of modern point-and-click adventures. Very good ones. We've got a whole bunch that we'll do in the future, but yeah.
I'm looking for a man named Leonard Shoulder.
Aye, I know the man.
I'm to meet him here tonight.
Can I get you something to drink while you wait?
Not yet, thank you. What can you tell me about Mr. Shoulder?
Aye, he's a quiet fellow. He only comes here to check his post.
Yes, I've been corresponding with him using this address.
Have you now? You found yourself an admirer.
Oh,
Not quite.
What business do you have with old Leonard then?
what if you're Leonard, Steve? Your character could be him.
Yeah.
Well, if you must know, I am what some people call a barrow digger.
A what?
A barrow digger.
What in God's name is that?
Are you familiar with Tumuli?
Afraid not.
Barrow is another word for tumulus or
What the hell is this?
a profoundly interesting subject.
You've lost me.
I excavate ancient burial sites looking for relics. A barrow is traditionally a circular mound of raised earth enclosing a burial chamber.
Oh, aye? You're a grave robber.
I was gonna make
I
that
am no
joke.
such thing.
Don't worry, lass. I've met all sorts in here over the years. I won't tell anyone.
I assure you, my goal is more noble than petty grave robbery.
What sort of relics do you find then? Gold? Silver? Bones?
Well, rarely gold or silver, but treasures certainly. Ancient pottery is the most common find. I've been excavating barrows all over the country. I'm documenting my findings in preparation for my book. It shall be called Vestiges of the Antiquities in Rural England.
Oh, aye. Very interesting.
Imagine how many angry
What does
ghosts
old
she's
Leonard
made.
have to do with this?
He sent me a letter in which he told me about an unusual barrow in Bewley, a site called Hobbs Barrow. I'm meeting him here this evening to find out more.
I've lived here nigh on my whole life, and I've heard nowt about a Hobbs Barrow.
Out.
What can you tell me about Bewley?
Aye, it's a quiet place. People keep to themselves, work hard.
I look forward to exploring the village tomorrow.
There's not a lot to see, lass. But St. Edmund's Church is a fine building, worth a visit.
Are you sure you've never heard of Hobbs Barrow?
Not in my life, lass, but I'll tell you something. The moors stretch further than the eyes can see once you leave this village. There's no doubt many a discovery to be made.
Mr. Shoulder said the barrow is well known locally, a place of legend.
I'm afraid you're going to have to speak to him about it.
He's full of shit, he is.
Why are you interested in digging around in the dirt, lass? Haven't you better things to do with your time?
I enjoy nothing more than the thrill of discovery, uncovering the past and piecing together our history. I inherited this passion from my father.
Oh, a barrow digger too, were he?
Indeed. He would take me with him on excavations as a child.
Does he still come with you now, on your own adventures?
I'm afraid my father's been bedbound by illness for many years.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that, lass.
Thank you, Mr. Kemp. He is well looked after at a private hospital.
He's got the clap, he does.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Kemp.
Well, I've been the proprietor of this inn for the last 16 years. I worked as a drover all over the country in my younger days. Saved up my coin and bought this place.
It's a fine inn.
Thank you. I often run short of ale, but my rooms are rarely full. We don't get many outsiders wanting to stay overnight here in Bewley.
Thanks for your time.
As you were.
Mr. Shoulder should really be here by now. I'll sit down and wait.
Hope he hasn't been killed.
Where on earth is he? What a waste of time this is turning out to be.
Look at Agent 47 behind the bar. Oh, is he the guy?
Miss.
Not you again.
Did I slap?
I just wanted to apologize for earlier. I deserved that slap. I'm sorry for my behavior. The drink gets a hold of me sometimes.
Let's start again, shall we?
My name is Arthur Tillett.
I thought he was going to be Shoulder.
It's giving me the shoulder.
What brings you to Bewley, anyway?
I'm here to meet someone, but he has not arrived.
His loss, if you ask me.
Perhaps you know the gentleman, Mr. Leonard Shoulder.
Oh, I know Mr. Shoulder, all right. If I may be so bold as to say, he's a bit long in the tooth for you.
The relationship is not what you're implying. I've never met him. In
Doing
fact, I
round
know
two,
very
wanting
little
that
about him
kiss.
at all.
Get me an ale and I'll
So
tell
why
you
would he
all
assume
about
that-
the old sod.
I guess, yeah, he assumed that she'd want him, but... Well, why would he assume they're in a relationship when she's trying to find him?
Maybe if we said, yeah, we are in a relationship, then he'll go and fight Shoulder, because that's, you know, what all women like, right? Is one drunken man asking for a kiss and then fighting. I don't think he needs another.
I really don't think you need another.
Please,
No, you're already drunk.
come on. Just one more. Don't you want to hear about old Leonard Shoulder?
Well, yes.
Wet my whistle and I'll tell you everything there is to know.
You drive a hard bargain, Mr. Tillett. As you wish.
Thank you very much, Miss Bateman.
Damn. We had no agency over that.
Mhm.
Unless we can piss in it and give it to him.
When he said wet his whistle,
How
I
can
don't
I
think he
help
was
you?
talking about his throat.
Jesus. Steve.
A tankard of your finest ale, Mr. Kemp.
Finest? Give him the pig swill.
That usually means house ale anyway.
Steve once again lives up to his name as the Filthbag Pirate.
Thank you.
Now we drink the ale in front of him.
This was the last of my money.
Are you
Kenneth
kidding?
will be here tomorrow with more funds.
Oh, hang on. What if?
No, that's not it.
Or what if we go to the lavatory and then pour piss in his ale?
I do not need to use the lavatory.
Could be into that though.
Maybe he's so drunk he won't even know the difference.
Here you are, Arthur. I think you should drink this.
Water? Are you mad, girl? I want a drink. Please.
Oh, really?
Here you are, Arthur.
You don't
Thank
give me
you.
the information, I'll be slapping you silly and calling you Susan.
Oh, that hits the spot, that does, lass. Now then. Old Len. Leonard Shaw.
Pass out.
Oh, don't you even. You.
Arthur? Mr. Tillett?
We're gonna splash him with water if we can.
Oh, for heaven's sake. The man is in a drunken stupor.
It was only one
Yeah,
beer.
He was already drunk though. But then that is her fault.
Yes!
Oh, what the hell were that for?
You passed out, Mr. Tillett.
Oh, sorry, lass. Where were I? Leonard Shoulder. Hold on another minute. I'm making for a piss.
Jesus! Is this Steve?
This man is unbelievable.
It's also probably her fault because she could just wait for Mr. Shoulder to arrive and then
Oh,
deal with this guy.
yeah.
Like there's no critical
Feels like
information we
an hour
need.
has passed. Perhaps I should go in there and check on him.
The window's open and he's gone. Or. Have a look.
Miss Bateman,
Hmm.
my apologies. The ladies are closed due to faulty plumbing. You'll have to use the gents.
Lovely. Mr. Tillett?
What the hell's this chaos bathroom? It's weird. I don't know what year this is in, but the urinals. It's interesting.
It looks like the towel has not been washed in months.
Perfect. We can whip him in the
It's
face
like-
with
The
it.
towel has not been washed
Looks like the
in months.
transporter from The Fly.
The water
More
looks
than the
highly
urinal.
questionable. I ought to keep my hands out of it. The water is brown, quite ghastly.
Jeez.
The jug is empty.
Gonna take
There's
a
no
jug.
fresh water in there. I would rather not get any closer. The smell of urine is nauseating.
That's so gross. Mirror?
The mirror is coated in a thick layer of grime. Some excavations are best left to others. The mirror is coated in a thick...
Oh, did he slip out this window?
Mr. Tillett? Mr. Tillett, are you in there?
Nothing in there.
Mr. Tillett, are you in there?
Oh, a kitty! Sweet.
Oh, you're not Mr. Tillett. I'd rather not touch it. The thing stinks to high heaven.
Oh,
Do you think he
the
turned into
mangy
the cat?
thing is fast asleep.
what's that?
Do you think he turned into the cat?
Oh, I don't know.
It did just pass out.
Yeah.
I can't reach the window from down here. I can see it's still raining out there. The door opens a crack, but appears to be blocked from the other
He
side.
must be the cat then, right?
I think I
Unless
can hear
he's
someone
gone
moving
into there and
around.
then he's passed out against the door, and
Mr.
that's why she can't
Tillett?
open it.
Arthur, are you out there?
Yeah.
Or has been
Judging from
killed.
the draft coming
Actually,
from
that
below,
means.
this door must lead outside. I should investigate further.
Should.
The cold draft is leaking in from...
Let's go around.
Yeah, actually, that's what we need to do.
Oh, did Ram's attacks happen? I didn't see. I hope so. She was attacking a tennis ball today. It was really funny. Like, the tennis ball's just sitting on the table. She goes over to it and starts just kicking at it randomly with her back legs. Very good. Okay. Good to know.
Excuse me, sir.
Oi.
A pearly white gent's glove. It's certainly unlike anything Mr. Tillett was wearing.
Oh, so that's the... I couldn't open it.
Seems rather out of place here. Peculiar. A beam of wood is propped up against the door, barring it closed from the outside.
Unlock the shortcut.
Someone has wedged the door shut. Mr. Tillett. Why would he have done that?
Yay, shortcut unlocked.
Did Mr. Tillett leave, then block the door behind him? Something strange is going on here. Who was that old chap I saw outside the alley? He headed eastward. Maybe I could catch up with him and ask him if he saw Mr. Tillett. I'd rather not.
Yeah.
I could tether a horse here if I had one. I suspect the barrels are empty. Otherwise, the locals would be rolling them into their cellars. The window is well out of reach.
You know, when I was in England last year, we went to a pub and they actually served warm beer. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, it was not that.
Sir? The old man has disappeared into the darkness. I'd best turn back to the inn.
Be a werewolf. Into the Night achievement has been unlocked.
I don't wish to go knocking door to door.
Stanley?
Last orders.
I should get some sleep.
What about
Finding
dinner?
the missing men of Bewley shall have to wait for tomorrow.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Tongs, because I went to Richmond, which is a suburb of London. It's where Ted Lasso is filmed. And went to the pub from Ted Lasso in there, and we got a drink. And I was overhearing one of the barmen saying that he was speaking to a tourist, and he said that the whole warm beer thing is actually not real, and it isn't like a thing. People don't serve warm beer to people. But this is after I'd already been served warm beer, like a couple of weeks later, so...
How can I help you?
Have you seen Arthur Tillett?
I thought you were with you.
He went to the lavatory and has not returned.
That sounds like Arthur Tillett. Don't worry, lass. He'll be back.
He's doing a
Thanks for your
big
time.
shit, he is.
As you were.
Right.
Kenneth will be arriving tomorrow at midday. I should get some sleep.
Go.
A lovely place to warm oneself. The crackling fireplace is more welcoming than the facial expressions of the locals.
Okay, bedtime.
Kenneth will be arriving tomorrow. Yes, I must get some sleep. I shall track down Mr. Shoulder tomorrow.
Miss Bateman,
Hmm.
Yes?
off to bed?
Yes. I'm afraid Mr. Shoulder's let me down.
The rotter. Perhaps he will make himself known tomorrow.
I should hope so. This is turning into a waste of my time.
Ah, don't mind the locals, miss. It's just that we don't get a lot of visitors in Bewley.
Quite.
They mean well, believe me.
Sure, Mr. Kemp.
Please, call me Stanley.
They
Good night,
mean
Stanley.
well when they
Sleep well,
said
Miss
bugger
Bateman.
off.
Hmm.
Uh-oh. What's the cat? The piss cat.
That's one of those grumpy face cats.
It's kind of cool. You smell like piss. That is a scary cat. Oh. Adventus. Dear Diary, last night I was pissed on by an ugly cat.
Such horrid dreams. Bolted from the inside, just as I left it last night. As I suspected, I must have dreamt of that wretched-looking cat. I must say I'm relieved. Right then. Let's see if I can track down the elusive Leonard Shoulder. I'm
Jay
rather
tells in the
anxious to
chat,
get
how
to
you
this
doing?
Barrow. I also wonder what happened to Mr. Tillett.
I wondered, like, if the cat pissed on us during the night and then the cat ran away, would then we believe that we pissed the bed last night? Or would... I don't know.
You can tell it's cat piss though, can't you?
A decorative plate
It's
depicting
usually
a
much more
goat.
rank.
Yeah, but if the door's locked from the inside and there's no cat to be seen, then you sort of... I don't know. Kind of have to assume it was yourself. Do we still have our
Good
match?
morning, Miss Bateman.
Good day, Stanley.
We do have our match. Oh, I suppose we could ask him if he's seen all these different items too. Saiku's awake. How you doing, Saiku? Welcome in.
Did you sleep well, Miss Bateman?
Not really. I have the rather queer recollection of a cat entering my room last night.
A cat, you say?
Yes, an odd-looking grey one. I must have been dreaming as
You
I locked
haven't
the
had a
door and
cat
windows
since the
before I
one
went to
died
sleep.
15 years
I saw
ago.
a similar cat in the
Ghost cat?
lavatories while searching for
It's
Mr.
like large
Tillett.
Marge.
Ah, Herbert. Oh, he's a harmless thing. He comes in now and then searching for scraps.
Smells like
Indeed.
piss, he does.
Seeing him in the lavatories must have conjured up the strange dream.
The mind is capable of manifesting frightful things, Miss Bateman.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy to report the rain of yesterday has lifted. It's a clear morning outside. Crisp. I've prepared a room for your assistant. What time will he be arriving today?
His train will get in around midday. Kenneth will also be bringing my excavation equipment.
Oh, aye. What does that entail?
Picks,
Shovel?
shovels, buckets, lighting and such.
Money?
He usually packs it in a large crate. Come to think of it, I'll need somewhere to store it.
You're welcome to use the alley behind the inn for any such bulky items.
Just leave
Sounds
your shit
secure.
out? That's so weird. Just leave all your valuable items just by the piss door.
Is it safe to do such a thing?
I can assure you the local folk are not thieves, Miss Bateman.
That's not what I...
Now, say nothing more of it.
Tillet tried to steal a
Thank you,
kiss.
Stanley.
I'll let you get on with your day.
I'll be back with my
What do you
assistant
think we
when he
are?
arrives.
Thieves?
Oh, little Bobby in chat.
Yes?
I've something I wish to get off my chest, as it were.
My real name is
I've
Tobias
been
Reaper.
tossing and turning all night, Miss Bateman. I feel rotten, I really do.
Oh, he does have
What
hair,
on earth are
actually.
you talking about?
As you know, I like to run an honest establishment. And well, I have not been honest with you, lass.
Yeah, it's
I
actually...
do know of Hobbs Barrow.
Oh,
You do?
what
I
a
do.
scoundrel.
Many here do. There are stories tied to that place, you know. If I've learned anything in this life, it's that some stones are best left unturned. Old Leonard Shoulder is someone to be wary of too. I can't tell you what to do, lass, but you'd best avoid him.
That ramen click gets me every time. So one thing, Saku, that you missed earlier is there was a drunkard outside this inn, and we went up to him, and he was like, "How about a kiss, love?" And we slapped the shit out of him. It was really good.
But then he totally screwed us afterwards.
Yeah, he made us buy
The
him a
free
drink.
Why lie to me about Hobbs Barrow?
I know, lass, I know. I feel dreadful.
But why? What are these stories you speak of?
I really can't tell you more. If you insist on visiting that place, you'll have to seek out Mr. Shoulder. He brought you here. He should be the one to tell you.
I must say, Mr. Kemp, this is all quite puzzling. I've never let local superstitions stop me in the past. I pride myself on being a woman of logic and reason. I've no time to waste on such matters.
As I say, seek out Mr. Shoulder. He can tell you more.
Yeah, drunken kisses, especially from Tillet, was not welcome. So yeah, we slapped the shit out of him for sure.
Because we already turned him down, and he goes, "Ah, come on, give us a kiss." And so,
And then he called us a wench afterwards. Yeah, it is cool.
Apologized, offered us information we didn't really need anyway, so that he could get a free drink from us, and then passed out before he could say it. When we woke him up, he then went to the toilet and disappeared.
Yeah, we
ended up disappearing.
We woke
So you
him
have to
up by
take this.
pouring water on top of his head, which was pretty great as well. I hope that's the running gag throughout this game, is we get to slap him, throw water on him, get a cat to piss on him, all those things. That'd be pretty good.
Why must I be wary of Mr. Shoulder?
The man has a certain reputation.
For what?
You've
Standing
seen it
people up.
already. Were he here to meet you last night?
No.
Precisely. A man not to be trusted.
Where does Mr. Shoulder live?
I can't say for sure. As I think I told you last night, he's a quiet man and keeps to himself. He only comes in here to collect his post. Leads me to believe he lives a fair distance away. Certainly not in the village itself.
Oh.
Might someone around Bewley be able to help me find him?
You could ask around. As I say, lass, Bewley folk mean well. Don't forget that.
Even though they tell us to clear off.
Yeah, but if it's a small town, how do you not know where someone lives? Is there just like a house is there also a house you go, I don't know who lives in there, never thought about it, and you also dismiss that? Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, I think he was saying though that he knows everybody in town and he doesn't live here, so he must live out of town. And yeah.
Where is Hobbs Barrow?
I don't know. I say that on my mother's grave, Miss Bateman.
I now find that hard to believe.
What if the Barrow is his mother's
The
grave?
moors are vast, lass. I'd tend not to go wandering out there. A grown man could lose himself and not be seen again.
I shall return later.
Good day to you, lass.
Good day to you, lass. All right, what do we have? Can we see
I'm
what's...
not hungry at the moment.
If this is like a Yoda thing where he was pretending to be Tillet just to judge us, to see how we'd react to
Yeah, good
very
call.
tribulations.
It's a crudely painted scene that appears to be of a biblical nature.
Hey, I just realized that in Backbone, Culinary's theory on the fox being the bad guy was not right. Is that Tiller?
Seems I may be fighting a battle against some sort of local superstition. Is there a single barrow in England that doesn't have some ghastly tale attached to it? Hogwash. All of it. I've a few hours until Kenneth arrives. I should use this time to find Mr. Shoulder.
Okay, it's a man, but it's not Tillet.
Hello. My name is Thomasina, and you are...
Now then, that's none of your concern, love.
What do you do around here?
Hey up, you're not scared of sticking your neb in. I look after the churchyard. Dig the
Fuck's the
graves.
nib?
Don't know.
What can you tell me about the church?
Aye, it's a church.
Thanks.
Quite. Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
I don't know out about no Leonard Shoulder.
What can you tell me about Hobbs Barrow?
Not to be found digging around in those things.
You know of local barrows, then?
Don't concern yourself.
What can you tell me about Bewley?
Not much around here, love. Not worth mentioning to you, like.
I see. Goodbye.
Ta-ra.
Alright. The Australian version of Torah is Hooroo. True story. How many times have you said that, Steve? How many times have you said Hooroo to someone?
Oh, yeah, I've never said that. It's one of those things. It's like that joke from Wolf of Wall Street about how some people's tone changes when they answer a phone call. That's the Australian version of that, saying things like hooroo. It's like a slightly British accent, and it sounds really nice. And then when he, on the way to the phone, he's like fuck, and afterwards he goes, fucking indecency of calling me this out. And
Yeah.
it's like polite and slightly posh and British posh, and that's our version of that. Or someone's like hooroo, but they don't say that at the end of a call, but they don't say that normally.
Maybe we should co-opt Uwu. Because we're going to put our stuff. Get our horse in here. I hope he brings 2 horses. Yeah.
I see no sign of
Oh,
life
do we have a
within.
spot for our gear?
This is where it's going to go, apparently. Just out in the
Yeah,
alley.
didn't we challenge that? No, because he said, oh yeah, don't worry, everyone's honest here.
Yeah. Can we open the door?
I can, if I was a local, I'd be like, if you're going to steal shit from us, we'll steal shit from you.
Nobody home.
What did we steal from? Oh, from the graves. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to rob them blind. They're fucking the hereditary antiques from their village. We're just going to take for our own fucking gain.
The road disappears.
That's what I'm probably
over the
struggling with a
horizon.
bit.
I see nothing but moorland.
Is what she's doing isn't very likable.
I don't find. I think it's okay. She's.
Grave robbing.
Yeah. They don't need it.
Stealing antiques from locals and
Yeah.
doing God knows what with them.
Happy Easter to you too, JTL.
You know that barrow could have been there for like 1,000 years, and everyone around it has the decency not to touch it. And then this person from the city goes in to rob it.
Yep.
I can't remove the plaque. A small plaque beside the door reads Vicarage.
There's
She reminds
actually.
me.
Go on.
Just remember the name. She reminded me of Irene Adler when she changed into the costume. That's the Sherlock Holmes's love interest, where she can dress super feminine, but then changes into boyish gear normally to be comfortable.
Lisa's been watching this show on SBS, I think it is, or maybe it's ABC, I can't remember, but it's called, I think, something along the lines of Things the British Stole, which is like a documentary series of all the things they've stolen from all the cultures.
Yeah,
It's pretty sad to see, actually.
like was it the Acropolis? And we're going across Europe. Went to Britain first, didn't even think of going to the museum, and got all the way to Greece because I was just generally tracking across Europe. Finally got to Greece, went to the Acropolis, and they're like, oh, this is what the edging around the roof of it looked like. if you want to actually see it, you have to go to the British National Museum. It's like
Yeah.
fucking hell.
It's difficult because it's wrong, right? That obviously it's wrong to steal all of the things from the different cultures and everything, but at the same time, when you go to the museum, if everybody, I don't know actually, if everybody had just their own culture in a museum, the museum wouldn't be that exciting. You know what I mean? I don't know what they would do. Maybe, like, send stuff to different museums on rotation. Like everyone around the world do that. So then when you go to a museum, you've got some new stuff to look at, or you just
So
keep
a little bit, but then the other side of that is the thing with keeping it all in one area to have it interesting is that the British people are profiting off that,
Yeah.
as opposed to like everywhere other places are culturally diminished, so they can have this culturally rich area in Britain to be exploited.
Yeah. There's also the fact that, like, if everybody, let's just say that museums completely changed their way, every museum sent back every bit of artifacts to the correct cultures and so forth.
Yeah.
If there was ever like a fire or a natural disaster or something that destroyed the museum of each location, then all that culture is wiped out in one hit.
Yeah, and then that's the thing with the Acropolis, because they've been asked to return it to Greece, but their thing is, if we gave it to the Greece, they wouldn't look after it properly. So there's also like a belittling and a cultural superiority complex and imperialism on like a general imperialist attitude
Yeah.
on top of the fact that they physically have it in their museum.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Tongs. Like, it'd be good for the actual countries to have all their stuff to loan it out to different locations for sure. The good thing is, though, if this did change, the Bogman would stay in the exact same location. Lisa's favorite Bogman, he's going to stay in the British Museum. High-res picture of the Rosetta Stone in Alexandria. Wow. Alright, let's talk to this little child. Alright, before we click on the child, is it going to be a child's real voice, or is it going to be like an adult pretending to be a child?
Somewhere between, I'd say it's someone youngish.
Somewhere in
but not
between, so it'll be
quite.
like a... Okay.
Like a teenager doing a child's voice.
What if it's like the Monty Python, like just men doing a woman voice?
Yeah.
Alright, here we go.
Hello?
Yes?
Oh, it's totally an adult doing a young voice, for sure.
Yeah.
My name is Thomas.
It's like the girl from the start doing a child's voice.
Douglas?
Douglas.
Pleasure to meet you, Douglas.
Douglas is such a bad name. Sorry for any Douglases out there, but yeah, I don't like it.
That's a great
Right,
sword
Doug.
technique.
They're usually
you
known
have.
as Doug.
Thanks, miss. Mr. Crozier's gonna make me a real one when I turn 12. I'm preparing myself to fight the Lambton Worm.
Lambton Worm?
What is the Lambton Worm?
It's
Worm's
gonna
like a
come back
dragon.
and get us all. John Lambton thought he killed it at the River Ware, but my father told me it still lives. We must all be prepared.
The Lambton Worm isn't real, Douglas.
I bet it is, actually.
Father just told you that to get you out of his hair.
Not true. I saw it slithering out by the beck. Like a giant eel it were.
Or it's a
I ran home
mechanical
so
thing.
fast I thought I would fly.
Sorry, miss. My brother has a vivid imagination.
Children often do at his age.
I'll keep training. You will all thank me when I thrust my sword deep into its fat belly.
Douglas, this lady doesn't want to hear your nonsense.
It's funny that accent, when we went to the UK last year, when we were traveling north of England and going into Scotland, everyone spoke like that. We stopped at a famous castle. It's where they filmed the Harry Potter scenes with the broomstick flying. I don't remember the name, but anyway. But whenever people spoke, we always thought in our head, like, of the north afterwards, just because that's such a common thing, like the Cafe of the North, or Dragon of the North, or Coffee of the North. Everything was an of the North. It just drove us crazy.
Do you like living in Bewley?
Yeah, I do. Are you from the city?
I'm from a long way away.
You must have come on the train. I love watching all the steam puff up into the sky.
Exactly,
Have you been on the
Psyche.
train yourself?
No, miss. Our parents don't have the money for train tickets. Father says we have all we need here in Bewley.
Perhaps this nice lady would like to take you away with her on the train.
No, I need to stay and protect Bewley from the lantern worm.
Yeah,
So, good idea. Foisted this child into an unknown strange adult.
there's a similar thing here, JTL, like up north in Queensland. Queensland is kind of, they speak like the Steve Irwin kind of voice, but there's always like the A at the end as well. Like, you go into the shops, like that kind of.
Do you know a man called Leonard Shoulder?
That's a funny name.
Have you heard of Hobbs Barrow?
What's that?
A local burial mound.
Our parents don't let us wander far from the village.
You're a grown woman.
What's a burial mound?
Don't you mind about
Yeah, I
that,
thought it was.
Douglas?
Who's Mr. Crozier?
He's a blacksmith. His forge is just over there on the other side of the square.
Don't you think 12 years of age is a little young for a real sword?
I'll be a master swordsman by then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, miss.
Okay. I suppose we can talk to you.
Good day.
Hello, miss.
My name is Thomasina. What's yours?
Betty.
Nice to meet you, Betty. What are you up to?
My brother is practicing his sword fighting technique. I'm to watch him until he tires himself out.
I'm tireless.
This time last month it were all about his teaspoon collection. This month it's swords.
Do you remember, Steve, that Gran collected teaspoons? That just brought back a memory.
Yeah.
It was like the teaspoons that the
The
not the dipping,
touristy.
not the eating end, but the other end, the handle end, always had like a blob of resin covering like a location. Like it might be like Uluru or Sydney Harbour Bridge or something like that. It was, yeah.
Yeah, the touristy ones. There's a name for them. I forget what it is. I think that might be a British thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, Americans, do you have
know a
that?
man
The
named Leonard
touristy
Shoulder?
spoons?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah, or that, or like I know Lisa's parents collect fridge magnets for all the different locations.
Mm. Have you ever
What do you
gotten
know of Hobbs
someone
Barrow?
Our
giving you one of
parents
those as
don't
like a
us
gift?
talking to strangers, miss.
So you know of it?
I've never had a fridge
No.
magnet given to me.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Or just,
Goodbye.
Bye,
yeah,
miss.
because I've had that given to me as a gift, but it's like, I haven't been there, so why the fuck would I want this?
Yeah,
It's just like a little indicator of where I haven't been.
little tchotchke.
Or I
of-
have been in there, and I would have got my own if I wanted to.
It makes me think back on when I went to Japan. I've told this story a little bit, but when I went to Japan, we went to Hooters because Hooters doesn't exist here in Australia, at least, and it's always the funny ha thing that the American has a restaurant
Yeah,
called Hooters.
I went to one going, well, I've got to see what this is all about, and
Yeah,
it's
so
like, other than the certain clients, like certain hiring policy, it's like, is this really it? It's just a normal,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, when we went there, I went to get like a souvenir from their store. So I got this little, like it's a little baby's bib that has like Hooters logo on the front of it. And I thought it was a great gift, giving that to, like I bought a couple and gave them to friends. And we gave it to Lisa's friend that basically just had a baby. And she immediately gave it away to Goodwill, which I thought was some bullshit. She should have given it back to me, but yeah. I mean, I guess I got the Hooters bib because no one has been to Hooters, I guess. Thimbles. How could a thimble have a location? Because they're just a small little bit of metal, right? Shot glasses I get for sure. Snow globes, yeah, snow globes. Tongs, what's the horrible type of gift? The Hooters bib? I think these days I don't really get people gifts anymore when I go overseas, because going overseas is kind of like a semi-common thing.
Yeah, there's that. It's also weird because it's like if you have gifts, like you're paying so much to explore a place. Unless you're the type to do shopping anyway, but to me it's like I'm paying to explore the place, and
Yeah.
then am I going to spend half a day like sorting out gifts, as whereas I could be doing stuff?
Yeah. I guess the only thing is, like, if I found something that sort of screamed out to a particular person, then maybe I'd
Yeah.
get it, like a gachapon or something like that. But I wouldn't, actively go out of my way to do it because you're carrying it back and
Yeah, you got to carry it with you, and
okay. Is this the blacksmith out? Oh, here he is.
Good day.
Yes?
Mr. Crozier, I presume.
Aye, George Crozier, at your service.
My name is Thomasina.
Aye, can I help you?
Are you a Bewley native, Mr. Crozier?
Aye, born and bred. That's where my father's forge before mine.
Yeah, mailing back is a bit of a pain as well. Like I went to a wedding and I wanted to send back my suit after I'd finished, but I ended up just putting it in the luggage anyway.
it ends up it's a pain to try to figure out how to do it at a foreign place, and then it's always more expensive than you think. Usually you think, oh, mailing shouldn't be too expensive, but you get there and it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Thomasina is a weird name. My mum's aunt was named Donaldina, which I thought was it's kind of like a funny name. Because who's called that? No one's called that.
How is business faring?
I do an honest trade. There'll always be horses needing shoes and farmers needing tools. You let me know if you need out made or mended. I'll do you a fair price.
Thank you, Mr. Crozier.
You better make a mithril armor.
Do you know a man by the name of Leonard Shoulder?
Oh, aye. Old Leonard.
Have you seen him recently?
No, not recently.
Do you know where he lives?
Why all these questions, lass?
I need to speak with him. He invited me to Bewley.
Oh, he'll turn up. I've seen him in the plough and furrow from time to time.
But do you know where he lives? I need to find him.
I believe he lives somewhere out on the moors. Can't tell you out more than that.
Thank you, Mr. Crozier.
I don't know what she went by because she's long dead. It was like my mum's aunt, so I have no idea.
Do you know of a local landmark?
But let's just
named
say she
Hobbs
does.
Barrow?
There's a fair many barrows found out on the moors, lass. Too many to put a name to. Not a soul in Bewley pays them any mind.
What can you tell me about Bewley?
We don't get many visitors here, outside of market days. But there's plenty of work for the village blacksmith. Where are you from, then?
I arrived yesterday on the train from London, by way of Derby.
London.
Oh, aye. I've heard about London.
What have you heard?
Plenty of factories there.
Yes, indeed. The city is always changing and moving forward.
Too busy for me, though, lass. I prefer a quieter pace. Aye.
You had a friend whose mum's name was Scholastica. Battlestar Scholastica. What a weird name.
When do market days run in Bewley?
Once or twice a month. The next one is tomorrow.
How delightful.
Unless your vice is cabbages.
A 100% certified got 'em.
I don't mind a cabbage.
Then you're in luck.
Thanks for your time.
Aye.
It reminds me,
Speak to you later.
of a character from Vicar of Dibley.
I always get that confused with what's that show? Vicar of Dibley and
Father Ted?
no. Is that woman Dawn French?
Yeah.
Okay. There's another one. What is it? Vicar of Dibley and Mrs. Bouquet? Does that ring a bell?
Oh, Keeping Up Appearances, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love that as a kid, and my mum fucking hated it.
Yeah, Steve just said. You loved it and your mum hated it. That's great.
Yeah.
Are they the same person? They're not, though, are they? The actress?
No. And the actress that did Keeping Up Appearances, because she quit like it was still really popular when she quit, but she's like, people are confusing me with the character too much. I can't stand it, and so I've got to stop doing it. To anyone who hasn't seen it, she plays a really annoying character. She's like a would be if I could be like a social climber.
Like her
So-
name's Mrs. Bucket, right? But she says it's bouquet to
Yeah,
give status to herself.
yeah, and can't change the lettering, so it's still bucket, perfectly by letters, but she keeps insisting that it's pronounced bouquet.
Oh, there's a fossil on the wall. That's cool.
Alas, it is not mine to take. A
And yeah, she's
fantastic specimen.
It's funny
very
that
bullish, as well as social climber.
she says that the fossil is not hers to take, yet her whole job is stealing shit from graves.
Stealing fossils, yeah.
I didn't come to Bewley to sweep their streets. A simple broom.
Right, maybe we'll go. Oh, lantern.
I have one just like this.
Wait,
I have one just like this.
go to the church.
I stole it from a dig about 3 digs ago.
Oh, lemonade stand. Nice.
It's those look like cremation. Yeah, memorial plaques. 3 of them new, or 3 of them old.
Yeah, maybe. It reminds me of Kathy Rain. Remember that there was like a puzzle
Yeah.
that we had to do with these. Or trowel.
Excuse me, do you think anyone would mind if I borrowed this trowel?
You help yourself, dear. Father Roach won't mind lending it. Just be sure to put it back when you're finished.
Of course, thank you.
It is more blessed to give than to receive.
That's what she said.
In memory of Percival Roach.
We watch as time goes
Oh.
by.
That's the Judi Dench one.
Oh, name sounds familiar, but I don't know it.
In
And I think of
memory
the song that's
Peter
with
Black.
the Judi Dench one.
In memory of William Ager.
I wonder if this
Yeah,
is like
Judi Dench.
Kickstarter.
It's the guy from Yes Minister, isn't it? As
In
the
memory of Mabel
love interest of
Hurst.
Judi Dench.
In memory of Benjamin Garkham.
I sort of want to see that because I remember it being
In
good as a
memory
kid. I don't know
of
if it was because I was a
Millicent
kid
Smith.
and just anything is like a
memory
little bit
of
charming, or whether
Henry
it's actually got
Crozier.
like good jokes.
In memory of Romeo Hegg, dearly missed by his beloved Juliet. In memory
The only episode I
Percival
remember
Roach.
is
In memory of
he had
Barnaby Tillett.
the guy was developing hearing problems, but he was too worried to go to the doctors.
In memory
And so like,
of
oh,
George
it's
Paxton.
fine, like you're getting older, but you've got to check it out because it might be some sort of degradation that you need to slow down or something, but he's just too worried or too self-conscious. And they finally get him to go to the doctors, and he comes back, and because he keeps mishearing things, and I think it gets worse and worse, and they convince him to go to the doctors, and he comes back, and he goes, oh, they go, no, what's wrong? Because they're getting nervous of like, what could this be? Some sort of degradation thing. And he goes, oh, it's all fine now. And they go, what are you talking about? He goes, I can hear fine now. And they finally get from him what it was, and he goes, it was earwax.
Jesus.
Too much build up of earwax. I guess deep in the ear, not where you can normally clean. So he just used one of the vacuums to vacuum up all the wax and he can hear fine. It's like a sweet thing.
Hello, good day. Would you like to buy one of these cakes, pet?
Oh, we don't have any money because we spent the round on that dude.
What kind of cakes do you have?
I have some lovely Bakewell
I love a
puddings,
Bakewell
the
tart. Oh.
sweetest marriage of almond and jam.
The best.
I can tell you're
Don't think
not
I've had
from
one.
around here, because if you were, you would know about my Bakewell
It's like if Dr. Pepper was in a
puddings.
tart.
They are quite famous.
That sounds
Alas,
disgusting.
I'm not carrying any money with me.
That's unfortunate, pet. I'm sorry. I can't give
I
them
thought you
away
said
for
it's
free.
better to give than
The
receive.
money goes to the church, you see, and one cannot
Maybe we'll
shirk
steal from
one's
the
duty to
collector's
church.
tin.
I understand.
Vanilla slices. Yeah, so Psycho's just recently learned about vanilla slices from Survivor. Are you a fan, Steve?
Vanilla slices of Survivor.
Vanilla slices.
Yeah, I don't usually pick them from like a but I do like them when I have them. Like, I don't usually pick them from a bakery.
Yeah.
It's like you never have had one before.
Oh, they're not an American thing.
Oh, really? I thought that'd be just general. But yeah.
Tongs, it's kind of like if you imagine custard, but super thick, like thick enough to stand on its own. And then it's probably about 1.5 inches tall, high. And then it's got like really flaky, sort of like sweet phyllo pastry, like a sandwich in a sense, like on top and bottom. And it's got like icing sugar on top of the phyllo. It's okay. You don't want to have too much of it. You'll feel real sick, but they're okay.
Kind of awkward eating, I find, because it's like,
Because they're so
like you
tall.
said, it's like pastry above and below, and then you've got to somehow slice the pastry with a dessert spoon in a way that doesn't, because the pastry just pushes down on the custard underneath. Like, it's hard to cut a little mouthful.
And usually when you
End
get it
up
from the
just making a
bakery,
bag.
it's in a bag, right? So you can't even eat it straight out of the bag because it'll squirt out the sides, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good. You'd want to probably have it in a bowl and eat it like ice cream in a sense. All right. How is your survivor going, Psyche?
My name is Thomasina. What's yours?
Mrs. Duplancy.
A pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Duplancy.
Likewise, pet.
Tell me about yourself, Mrs. Duplancy.
About me? What would you possibly want to know about me? I have been attending St. Edmund's Church my whole life. I always want to help where I can, so I sell my baked goods, and all the proceeds go to its upkeep. This place means so much to me.
Your cakes look delicious.
I can assure you they are. You'll not find better in the entire county.
Next time you're over, Steve, we'll get some Bakewell tarts and Mrs. Kipling's one because they're like sensational, and experience it whether you like it or hate it. It's a small little tart, right? It's probably, you know how big tarts are, small as.
Yeah.
So good. Only a few people left, including the cockroach from Bankstown. Yeah.
What can you tell me about St. Edmund's Church?
Isn't it the finest building? It's been standing here since the 12th century. The box pews in the nave are very fine and date back to the 17th century. The door is open if you'd like to worship.
Thank you, Mrs. Duplancy. Do you know a local man called Leonard Shoulder?
Yes, I know Leonard. What business do you have with him?
It's a long story, but I'm trying to find where he lives.
I'm afraid I don't know, dear. Father Roach has access to the parish register. He might be able to help
look up his
you.
address. Is there Australian-specific baked goods? Yeah, meat pies and sausage rolls.
Well, meat pies are held up as like Australian in terms of we associate that, but they're just mince pies, really. There's most of our baked goods are probably just British. There's Lamington's always held up as the Australian.
Is that a baked good though? I guess it's like a cake that's rolled in the chocolate and.
I guess because you get from a bakery is why I immediately thought of that. So it might not be technically. I just thought of anything from a bakery.
Lamington's a
yeah, but Lamington's that can't be Australia only.
New Zealand are invented apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Little Australia invented them.
Yep. So for those that don't know, a Lamington is like sponge cake. Sometimes, and the better version has like jam or like, you know, like raspberry. What do you got? Jelly, you'd say, and then it's like rolled in chocolate and then loads of coconut on top, and it's real good. Oh, there's an ad. Oh, Tongs, you'll never know what a Lamington is. Then otherwise there's like Danishes, but that's not really Australian. But I guess meat pies is the main one, right? We do fruit pies occasionally, but meat pie is.
I think sausage rolls aren't Australia specific, but we sort of usually have them.
We
It's
co-op
meat
them,
pies
for
and
sure.
sausage. Yeah, that's usually those two sold front and center.
A sausage roll is something you guys should definitely try. I know, like UK has this store Greg's. It's kind of like one of the most famous sort of cafe-y things that they've got, and the Greg's sausage roll is the famous thing to get. But if you're ever in the UK or Australia, at least try a sausage roll because they're pretty great. It's just like sausage meat, but then coated in sort of like really buttery pastry. Really good. We feel like meat pies are different from the UK meat pie. I think that we've kind of taken over the meat pie, to be honest. Like UK has like their shepherds and cottage pies, but as far as the little handheld meat pies, I think we are more famous for them now, to be honest. So when I went over there, I didn't see any. It was like they love their sausage rolls for sure, but I didn't see any meat pies over there. Unless it's at like an inn or a pub where you're having like a family meat pie, which is a little bit different. So good though, because it's meat and gravy in the pastry. Delicious.
I don't think they're that great.
You have a good one.
Because it's like offal. It's just like offal and gravy in a pie.
Yes, he has. The best meat pie I ever had though was in New Zealand in Hobbiton. I went to the Dragon Inn and had the meat pie. It was like beef and ale. Chef's kiss. So good.
What can you tell me about Father Roach?
He is a lovely man and an exemplary servant of the
I'm
Lord.
thinking he might be a bad guy.
He's been the vicar of St. Edmunds for many years.
Yeah, Hobbiton in New Zealand, where they filmed Lord of the Rings. They actually have a little Hobbiton town there, and there's not Dragon Inn. There's like the Dragon. I don't remember what the Lord of the Rings Dragon Inn is. It's the one from the movie, but they made a real one of it.
Green Dragon or something
Green
like that?
Dragon Inn, that's the one, yeah. So you can go there and actually eat and drink ale, and sensational. If you're ever going to New Zealand, you got to do it. It's so good. Yeah, exactly. They made the film set a tourist attraction. You can go visit, go inside the little houses in the hill, and then go to the Green Dragon. New Zealand's so great.
Where can I find Father Roach?
At this time of day, he'll be taking his exercise in Herne Wood, to the west of the village.
Thank you. I'll go find him.
Be sure to listen out for his merry whistling. Such a jolly man.
Love a good whistle.
And to get funding, the reason he was able to get funding to make Lord of the Rings is he had a connection to someone, I think it was a New Line Cinema producer, and he went to them to say, look, I have this idea for 2 movies, and the guy goes, when he pitched the idea, he goes, make it 3. And the reason he had that business relationship is because he wrote a script for Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street 6.
Okay.
But they threw that script away and they wrote their own. But he had a relationship with them from there.
That sounds like a Steve fact, if I've ever heard one.
So recently these guys did like a deep dive on the Nightmare on Elm Street series, and that was one of the interesting factoids.
There it is.
And that was another Steve fact.
I love it.
It's like a movie association I never think of, other than his Peter Jackson's early stuff was, of course, why they would bring him in to write a script. Then from there it just led on to Lord of the Rings.
Did you ever see the movie The Frighteners that Peter Jackson did?
I've seen most of his. I saw at like a back-to-back screening. I think so. I don't know if it's that or Brain Dead. I think I saw both.
The Frighteners reminds me a lot of So I Married an Axe Murderer, which is definitely a show that Psyche loves, a movie that Psyche loves. But I've got to watch that movie again for sure.
I think it was when we watched it at the theater. I think it was Brain Dead and Meet the Feebles back to back.
Oh, Meet the Feebles is yuck.
It is.
What do you know of Hobbs Barrow?
Hobbs what?
Hobbs Barrow, a local burial mound.
The only place of burial I know about and care for is in this very churchyard.
Can we dig it up with the trowel?
Thank you for your time.
Lord be with you.
We'll have to do a watch party of Sorry I Married an Axe Murderer. It's been so long. Oh, it's
I haven't
Crowy.
seen it in ages. I've only got a vague memory of some of the jokes I really liked when I was a kid.
Lots of headstones.
Here lies Margaret Tillett, beloved mother, wife, and sister.
Another Tillet.
Was that the mother or the wife of the drunken asshole?
What if the drunken asshole is a ghost? He was a ghost all along.
John Purchase, dearly beloved husband of Florence. Forever in light, Anne Kemp.
Ooh, okay, so that's the barman's relative.
Joseph Davis. Samuel Bryden. Death is only a shadow across the path to heaven. Here lies Elizabeth Farnaby.
Meet the Feebles is basically a porno version of the Muppets. It's really gross.
William Paxton.
Yeah.
Modest and gentle of heart.
Probably not that, like, it's not porno as in just back-to-back rude stuff. But it's like this stage production. The idea is that it's the behind the scenes of a Muppet. They're not official Muppets because it's not the, what's his name's Muppets, but there's a Muppet-like show. So the front end would be clean, but behind the scenes, the Muppets are actual characters. But it's like those stories where there's like a Hollywood story and it's like sex, lies, drugs, that sort of thing. There's just very adult themes. So it's kind of like that, where these actors and producers and stuff doing, like, it's them putting on the production behind the scenes, and
kind of like the baby in Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a character I think probably like that too.
I may be a barrow digger, but I am no grave robber.
Damn it.
This appears to be a recently dug, unmarked grave. William Paxton, modest and gentle of heart.
Bill Paxton. Yeah.
Jinx. Ooh.
Margaret's Lookout. I wonder who Margaret is, or was. A fine spot to take a rest.
Take a seat.
I was thinking it'd be good if just could remind me of Loom, if just a dragon flew past, or like.
We get an achievement for rest. I don't
You
have a
did
cursor.
mention a worm.
Greg the Bunny, never heard of it.
Yeah, it sounds similar though. But yeah, I haven't seen it.
I used to watch part of Sesame Street. There was no one. Whenever I've mentioned this to people, they don't know what I'm talking about. But there was like, maybe Psycho, you're the person that will be able to answer this question, and maybe you've heard it. But have any of you? I can't remember what it was called, but it was like upside down glasses, like in the real world. But then there was like cartoon characters drawn on the glasses, and the salt and pepper shakers and all that. So it would move around and sort of like stop motion. But the little cartoon characters on the cutlery and things like that would talk to each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I had no, because you sent me the clip of it on YouTube, but I had no memories of that before that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like the Berenstein Bears scenario. Like, no one's ever heard of it, even though... Oh, we've got a can. Here we...
The locals might be alarmed if I dismantle their cairn.
Oh, but it's okay to dig up
I've
the
seen cairns like
Barrow
this all
though.
over England, quite common. I don't wish to dig it up. The moors continue for miles in this direction. I don't wish to lose my way.
Oh. We've already seen something creepy happen, Psycho. The cat was something to tell stories to your grandkids about. Yuck.
You guys are a little bit too mean about the cat. I actually like those cats, the squished in face ones.
No, but it was like the when it was sitting on the bed, it had like a monster face. It wasn't like a.
Both you and the chat have
I'd better not
universally
touch
called
them.
it
They could be
the
poisonous.
ugly cat.
It's true. We have. Yep.
That's a peculiar idea. I'd better not touch them. They could be poisonous.
So many places to go.
The moors stretch into the distance. I don't wish to wander aimlessly.
Uru.
Goodness me, look at these box pews. I've never seen any as tall as that before. Most unusual architecture, even for the Normans.
Still a necklace in the church.
That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly.
Is that a necklace? Someone has left a necklace hanging here. A silver cross. Sterling by the look of it. Maybe I can reunite it with its owner.
Yeah, sure.
The flowers have long since dried out. I don't want them.
Oh.
A memorial list of former vicars. They stretch back several hundred years. Extraordinary craftsmanship. This must be where the local vicar sacrifices the newborns. I've no time for such things.
You said that without even a joke in her voice.
Locked.
Yeah, should I say that with a joking tone or with a yes, I'm saying something mean about the church tone? But she didn't either. It was just matter of factly.
Yeah.
It's locked.
Carving of arm. All right. Oh, I forgot we could
Do you recognize this glove?
No, pet.
Never mind. Excuse me, I found this necklace inside the church. Is it yours?
No, pet. Perhaps someone left it behind yesterday. You keep hold of it for now. I'll ask around at the next service.
Are you sure?
I trust you.
It might protect us from the ugly cat.
I don't wish to give that away. I'm not sure they would be interested.
We need a soggy tissue to give. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I've never seen Greg the Bunny.
Hear him whistling. It's you, Steve.
Hi.
What? Oh, gee.
Vomited up a face hugger.
Stand in it.
Very sorry. Oh, the shame.
Classic Steve.
Malaise will not pass. Oh, the nausea.
Too much VR for this guy.
Young lady.
Tell me what you need.
A shame I don't really drink. That'd be a good line to make when you vomit.
Excuse me?
Like from drunkenness and go, oh, this malaise is overcoming me.
I don't wish to look too closely. I'm not going near it. It smells disgusting. The vicar's spectacles lie broken on the forest floor.
You want to kiss with the vomit mouth.
Ouch! The broken lens is extremely sharp.
Wait.
The vicar's spectacles lie broken.
Do we want that?
Ouch! The broken lens is extremely sharp.
How are we going to bloodlet him? Maybe with the trowel? Give him a good stabberoo?
Are you sure this is the only way, Father?
I beg you. It's the only cure for this torturous malady.
I thought he said milady.
The vicar looks dreadfully ill. Are you sure?
I beg it's the only...
Alright, well, trowel it is.
The trowel's blade is dull and rusted. I need something that will provide a cleaner cut.
What about the cross?
I don't think it's sharp enough. I don't wish to give that away.
Can we pick it up? Pick up.
I don't think that will help me pick up the broken glass.
Oh, the glove.
Perhaps I shouldn't risk soiling this glove until
piss.
I find its owner.
Can we pick up the vomit with the glove?
I shan't be dragging any of my possessions through that mess.
Okay, well, I think we're going to have to find something else then. Stay there.
Don't leave. You must help me.
Oh, unless there's something in the area. Vomit. Oh, to-do list. Okay.
Ouch! The broken lens is extremely sharp.
How often do we say shan't? Not a lot. I would no.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does.
Oh, handkerchief maybe.
This
Must be a
handkerchief was a
posh
gift
British
from my
thing.
mother. I hope she will understand.
And then
This should work.
we dip the glass in the vomit and then stab him with that.
I shan't be dragging any of my possessions through that mess.
Posh wankers.
Are you sure you want me to do this?
Yes, it will cure me of my ills.
I shall do as you ask, Father.
Oh.
That's a neat effect.
The bloodletter achievement. Get an extra set.
Thank the Lord for my spare pair. God bless you. I already feel quite better.
I'm glad, Father.
The rapid healing properties of bloodletting cannot be overstated. I'm Frederick Roach, vicar of St. Edmund's Church.
My name is Thomasina Bateman. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Do you think the reason why they thought bloodletting worked is because, let's just say he had a stomach ache, right? Like, oh, I got a stomach ache, I need a bloodletting. And then you cut him. The brain is now focused on the cut more than the stomach ache. So that's why they feel better. It's like, oh, well, I know I've got this cut wound, but that was in order to get rid of my stomach ache, which it now has.
Are you feeling better?
Yes, thank you.
What ails you, Father Roach?
I just ate a rotten berry, that's all. I like to pick blackberries for my supper, you see. They are quite delicious, as long as you mind the bramble. My apologies again. I wish we had met in different circumstances.
Are you from Bewley originally?
I was born in our very own St. Edmunds. It's quite the story.
Do tell.
My mother was sheltering there as a frightful tempest raged. And lo, did her waters break right there and then in that pew.
Gross.
One could say that you were born into your role, Father.
Indeed. When my mother told me the story as a young boy, I knew that this was my calling.
St. Edmund's is a fine building.
Thank you for saying so. It's hard work keeping her in good shape, but our congregation is always willing to lend a hand in the Lord's name.
What is it like being the vicar here?
Every day is a blessing, my child. I have a great love for our parish, and the Lord looks after us.
What about your congregation?
Numbers have fallen over the years, I must say. But those that remain are faithful and full of His Spirit.
I'm looking for Mr. Leonard Shoulder.
Oh, yes? Are you a relative?
No, it's a long story, but he invited me to Bewley.
And he didn't tell you his address?
He was to meet me last night at the Plough and Furrow, but he never came.
I see. Well, let me welcome you to Bewley on his behalf.
Thank you, Father.
It's like that stupid, you seen The Sound of Music, anyone? The only thing I remember from that movie is like the kids try to tell...
Blueberries?
It's like the blue strawberries, they said, to the, like,
Yeah.
they're trying to lie to their father to say where they've been. He's, oh, we'll pick in the blue strawberry, like, just made up bullshit. And that's what kids do all the time. It's just like absolute hogwash. The parents are not going to believe that shit.
I was going to bring that up because when we were playing Grounded, that kept reminding me. I kept being reminded of that scene every time we talked about the blueberries.
Yeah.
No, they're not really blueberries, but they're blue berries. So we call them, yeah.
Do you know where Mr. Shoulder lives?
Let me think. It's been many moons since I've paid him a visit.
Perhaps you could allow me to take a look at the parish register.
No need. I remember it now. A fair hike across the moors.
Could you please give me directions?
I'll take you there myself. It's the least I can do after you aided me so.
Capital. Thank you.
Just let me know when you're ready to pay him a visit. I'll be resting here for the time being.
But yeah, they go to talk to... Kids go to talk to the main character, and so the father's questioning where they've been, and they say, we're picking strawberries? No, picking blueberries. And he goes, that's funny, because blueberries aren't in season. And they go, well, actually, they were strawberries, but it had been so cold recently that they turned blue. He goes, oh, wow, that's interesting. So you've been eating strawberries all day that would turn blue. Go, yep. That means you won't be hungry, so you won't need dinner.
Yeah, sick
so
burn, Dad.
Yeah. So they have to skip. Dinner.
What do you know of Hobbs Barrow?
I can't say I've heard of it.
It's supposedly a famous local landmark.
I'm afraid I know nothing about it.
What can you tell me about Bewley?
It's a quiet town. The railway line, which I presume you arrived by, is the only news of note we've had here for years.
I've heard the new station has received a mixed reaction.
I've heard many a debate, it's true. But my role is not to adjudicate on that matter. I'm very busy in my own work, you see.
Are we ready to go? Suppose so.
I'm ready to go to Mr. Shoulder's house.
Excellent. I feel the fresh air will do me well. Follow me.
We're just leaving that vomit on the floor.
That's biodegradable. Yeah, after that scene, to cheer themselves up, they sung the song that they were taught to improve your own mood, just to sing about your favourite things. But it's the most, they're singing it with the most depressing, heart's not quite in it tone, trying to cheer themselves up.
Father.
Excellent. Miss Bateman, don't hesitate to try one of Mrs. Duplancy's wonderful
Give me a coin, I will.
Yes, I've heard about her famous Bakewell puddings.
I'll be here all day, young lady. But remember,
that's it. I'm
going
to buy some tomorrow.
They're gone. Those little whelps have already gobbled up all the gingerbread.
You are doing God's work, Mrs. Duplancy.
He smiles upon us, Father.
Miss Bateman, if you'd like to follow me.
What about you guys? Have you guys had a Bakewell tart before?
Let's talk of graves,
gingerbread's
of worms, and epitaphs. Make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes, write sorrow on the bosom of the earth.
Everybody needs
Let's
a bosom for a
choose
bosom.
executors, and talk of wills.
Shakespeare?
Quite. Which play?
Oh, shit. Guyera, it's called a Bakewell tart. It's cherry and sort of like marzipan, kind of like almond stuff. Oh, you've never had a Yorkshire pud? Oh, they're real good. Gravy? Oh, so delicious. Yorkshire puddings are really easy to make, Guyera. You could make them at home. It's just like pancake batter, but with no sugar, and you pour it into like a muffin tray, and then you put hot oil, like sort of put oil in the middle, and then you put it in the oven, and the hot oil makes it like it cooks around the oil, so it puffs up, and then you push it in. It's got some Taco Bell. Nice idea. I wish our Taco Bell had the fire sauce, but there is no sauce. Gaia making something. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, while we got you here as well, I had planned to do a Rocksmith stream on Saturday morning, and I still kind of do. I still have that plan, but my real tone cable, which is like the cable between the computer and the base, has died, and so I've had to order another one. So hopefully by Saturday morning, I'll be good to go if it arrives on time. Still advise Taco Bell considering 3 a.m. All right. As far as these, is it Hamlet or is it Macbeth with all the deaths in it?
Hamlet's the one known for having high death counts, like 8 altogether. Can be more depending on how it's told.
That one then.
But yeah, what was the other description? He said something about conveyance or something, didn't he? There's something. Because I
just remember something about worms. I don't remember the conveyance.
In terms of his description.
Yeah, he was talking like he was quoting worms and stuff and death.
I think he's quite. I think I'd recognize because I don't have a general knowledge of I do know Hamlet pretty well.
I can't hear what you're saying, Steve. You're all muffled.
I don't know Shakespeare very well in general, but I know Hamlet pretty well, so I would have thought I'd recognize a line. Yeah, I thought the last thing he said, because the problem is I was thinking of Sound of Music when he was talking. Last thing he said was, I thought it was something to do with lawyering, like conveyance, and that made me think of Richard II, because I think Hamlet has that. I don't think Macbeth has that.
Yeah.
It's the Horatio. No, Yorick.
Yorick. Alas, poor Yorick.
But he's saying it to Horatio.
I'm going to let you decide, Steve, because we've both got limited knowledge, so you choose and I'll pick it.
What was another description? Shall I look up a walkthrough just to get...
Doesn't really matter. I think it's just a one-off decision.
Like, get the question?
If we're wrong.
Yeah, if you put on me, though, I sort of want to get it right. It's not going to be hard to look it up without actually seeing the answer, though. Okay, so if you're right and it's about deaths and worms, I would say Hamlet. There's a quote about worms in Hamlet.
Okay.
But and then
also
that's
the
one
first,
known for deaths.
It's the first answer.
Macbeth is pretty violent too, but Hamlet's the one known for there being a lot of deaths because pretty much all the main characters die at the end of it.
You know, speaking about Yorick, I had a friend in my childhood named Jamie, and at his place, he had a human skull that was coated in wax, that was used as a doorstop, and he would always call it Yorick. Really strange, as a little kid.
Like a real skull?
Yeah.
Covered in wax?
Yeah.
Wow. Because there's that almost reminds me of a line from that exact scene, but it's not Yorick's skull, but there's like it's the rich person's part of the graveyard, and this gravedigger's digging out existing bodies, existing like skeletons in order to make room for a new person, and Hamlet's saying like this could have been in his time a great landowner or a great legislation, like a really important person in his day, and now his skull's being hit around the head with a sconce by a gravedigger who doesn't give a shit. That almost like the skull, regardless of what that person was in life, they're his doorstop after they're dead.
So what are we choosing?
Okay, if it is deaths and worms, I would say Hamlet, but I want to be confident without
I'm gonna
seeing the thing again.
Hamlet?
Magnificent guess, Miss Bateman. but I'm afraid that passage is from Richard II.
Oh, Tong said
Studying
Richard
the
too.
work of the bard is
Yeah.
one of my favourite
And you,
pastimes.
and you steered me away from Richard II too.
All good. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. He said it was a magnificent guess anyway.
Behold, the vast expanse of God's creation.
Everything
Laws
the
extend
light
as far
touches.
as the mortal eye can see.
Is that okay?
Beautiful, is it not?
Indeed, the moors are beautiful.
The beauty of God's creation is that it takes so many forms. How can one take in such a view and not have faith? Some look at these moors and think this a godless land. But I tell you, he is found in all domains. The Lord's
GeoCities,
work is
Yahoo.
all about us. Tell me, Miss Bateman, do you believe in God?
I was brought up Anglican. The church was an important part of my early life.
Bogman, exactly.
But what happened to my father eventually made me question things.
If you don't mind me asking, my child, what happened to your father?
He became the Bogman.
Had an accident when I was very young.
Come
So
along now,
one of the
Thomasina.
villagers,
Let's get out of the rain.
they found out what he was doing, and an angry mob stopped him and said, "Stop stealing shit from us."
Remember what I told you, all right? Be a good girl. People are unwell here. They don't want to hear you running about making noise. Understood?
Yes, Mother.
Good.
That sounds more like a real child.
Nurses.
Yeah.
I promise I won't.
Good.
Oh,
Now, let's see your father.
I still think it is.
Mummy? Mummy? Daddy, wake up!
nah.
Good evening, Mr. Bateman. Hello, little one. You must be Thomasina?
Yes.
My name is Nurse Blaketon. I just need to talk to your mummy for a little bit. I'm sorry to disturb you, Mrs. Bateman. Mrs. Bateman?
Will he ever talk again, Nurse Blaketon?
The doctor is uncertain, Mrs. Bateman. There is the possibility that Mr. Bateman won't regain any movement at all. But we will do our utmost to look after Mr. Bateman here at Ticehurst, ma'am. He will have a nurse by his side at all times, I can assure you.
Her face looks like a skull.
What sort of god would allow this fate to befall such a kind and honest man?
I'm sorry to hear this. God moves in mysterious
Oh,
ways,
that line.
But he loves us all.
Hmm.
Come along now.
Hey, we went this way earlier. We could have found the house ourselves. Oh, hello.
Hello. She scampered off in a hurry. Who was that?
Some primitive folk make their home out on the moors. I suggest you keep your wits about you when you are exploring, and don't stray too far from Bewley.
I see. How much farther to Mr. Shoulder's house?
Still quite a walk, I'm afraid, but we'll get to him soon enough. Now then, take a look at this.
Take a look at this.
Legend has it that this cairn has stood here for over 1,000 years.
How remarkable.
The Devil's Toe.
I beg your pardon?
That's what it's called. The Devil's Toe.
Oh, I see.
Come now, onward.
Take a look at this.
There you go.
We walked and walked across that vast, featureless landscape.
Guyera has a devil's toe right now, don't you, Guyera?
All the while, Father Roach was whistling away merrily. Just as I had begun to wonder if we were hopelessly lost, a building emerged from the mist. Mr. Shoulder's cottage.
Chickens!
Here we are, Miss Bateman. Unless my memory fails me completely, this is Mr. Leonard Shoulder's house.
Thank you for your help, Father Roach.
Now, no need to thank me after your providential assistance today. However, I have something to ask you.
Yes?
Please don't tell Mrs. Duplancy about my little scene in the woods. She will only fret, and the poor dear woman has enough on her mind as it is.
I shan't mention it.
Thank you. You'd better see if Mr. Shoulder is in.
Here, chuk chuk chuk.
Don't encourage them.
What?
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 Encourage the chooks.
Don't allow chickens to be chickens.
He looks much too unruly to be picked up.
Who that one is?
Yes.
Care to hold one, Father Roach?
Put that thing down, would you?
You're no fun.
I enjoy holding chickens. They're fun. Had that friend achievement. Oh yeah.
The trousers feel damp.
He's pissed
Freshly
himself.
hung or still wet from last night's rain?
Oh,
that
glove.
glove looks familiar. I wonder if it matches the glove I found behind the plough and furrow.
It's
Slightly
like the
damp.
little box
I have a
houses.
similar one myself. So very warm.
I once had a
Only
pair
a
of long
people.
johns, and then people didn't like me wearing them, so they got rid of them. They threw them away without my knowledge, and then I no longer had long johns. Oh yeah, good. Yes,
What about the unruly one?
we'll try. If you want to see a funny video, look up Steve Jacobs chicken. That's all you need. Those 3 words, Steve Jacob chicken. Good one.
He looks much too unruly to be picked up. That glove looks familiar. I wonder if it matches the glove I found behind the plough and furrow. The gloves are a pair. Does this mean Mr. Shoulder was in the alley last night? Why didn't he come inside to see me?
Was he the cat, maybe? The piss cat.
I found this necklace inside the church. Do you know who it belongs to?
Many in our congregation wear such things. I'll announce it at the next service.
Do you mind if I keep hold of it until then?
Not at all.
The window is much too high up to reach.
It's funny, when we went to Tasmania last year, we stayed at a farm where it had Highland cows, so the cows with the really long hair. And there was a chicken pen there, and Lisa was worried about picking up a chicken because it might flap. And when they start flapping when you hold it, it's just a thing. You just don't want to be in that scenario. But anyway, she built up the courage to do it, and the chicken flapped.
A carved stone has been affixed to the door. I think it depicts a crescent moon. Father, what do you make of this?
A peculiar adornment. I've not seen any like this in Bewley, though it does remind me of a passage by the bard himself. It is the very error of the moon. She comes nearer earth than she was wont, and makes men mad.
I'm going to say Othello.
Othello?
Precisely, Miss
They're very-
Bateman.
oh, yeah.
1 out of 2, Miss Bateman.
Yes. Othello was my favorite Shakespeare play. No, we didn't go to Launceston, Psycho. We went to Hobart, and we stayed around the Hobart area. Went to Port Arthur, and all that. It was a really good time. The only thing is, if you ever go to Tasmania, do not drive at night time, ever. Just don't even consider it. Just danger if you do.
No sign of life?
None. The window is nice and clean. The dwelling is by no means abandoned.
No, Tongs. The wildlife. So Tasmania is known for its wildlife, the Tasmanian wilderness especially. And the moment it hits like 6 p.m., all the wildlife come out on the road. Like there's paddy melons, which are kind of like little mini kangaroos, and Tasmanian devils, and all sorts of wildlife. And it's just white knuckles tight on the steering wheel the entire time, making sure you don't run over things.
Mr. Shoulder? Is Thomasina Bateman here? I'm here in Bewley as discussed.
Maybe try again. His hearing probably isn't the best at his age.
So even we had a drive back from Port Arthur to Hobart, which is probably an hour and 10-minute drive. And in that, there were 11 instances where we saw animals on the road, and 4 times we had to put our brakes on just to avoid hitting it. That's just in one trip, so yeah.
A carved stone has been It's bolted onto the door itself. I can't remove it. Mr. Shoulder, are you home?
All this way and he's not even home.
It appears Mr. Shoulder is not at home. Curses.
Perhaps you could try the handle.
Break in.
It's locked.
Perhaps you should try a lockpick.
Perhaps he's gone for a stroll.
Possibly.
Just pretend it's a Barrow and just break your way in.
Later, my child. I myself must make my way back home. I have some matters to attend to at the church. Shall I accompany you back to Bewley?
No, you go ahead, Father. Thank you.
As you wish. Farewell, Miss Bateman. I hope Mr. Shoulder finds his way to you.
Thank you for your help, Father Roach.
My pleasure. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
Much ado about nothing.
Much ado about nothing?
Oh dear. I thought that was an easy
shit.
one. Romeo and Juliet.
Of course.
That I shall say good night till it be morrow.
See, that I
I'll
know.
be with you.
I did answer that one.
Well, Mr. Shoulder, I'll just have to find Hobbs Barrow myself.
Go pick up the chicken.
He looks much too unruly to be... I've no desire to lug a block of wood about the countryside.
Wood, rooster hen, trousers, window.
That's the rooster you can't pick up, but the ends you can.
Yeah. Which is fair, because roosters have spurs.
As I trudged back to Bewley across those cold moors, I made a new resolution.
1920 by 1080.
I would find Hobbs Barrow myself, with or without Mr. Shoulder. The train! That must be Kenneth. I should go and meet him at the station.
I've got one. Oh, is that him?
Where is Kenneth?
The that conductor dude. Is he the guy that wanted the kiss in a slap?
Might be.
He was supposed to wait for me at the station.
It is Arthur Tillett. You
Mr.
bastard.
Tillett, where did you go last night?
Have we met?
Last night at the Plough and Furrow.
Oh, Miss Bateman. I were blind drunk last night and woke up with a stinking headache.
You still smell like a brewery.
Sorry.
You went to use the lavatory and never came back, Mr. Tillett. I searched everywhere for you.
I think I remember you bought me a drink. Then it's all a blur. I woke up in my bed this morning with my wife sour at me for waking her at some ungodly hour.
Wait, he was hitting on her and he's married.
Yeah, bastard. Oh yeah, Artie, fine. You want to tell the kind folks what kind of animal you hit? It's not what people would expect, that's for sure.
About last night. What were you going to tell me about Leonard Shoulder?
Who?
Leonard Shoulder. You told me you knew him. And promised to tell me more if I bought you a drink. Which I did. So what were you going to tell me?
Oh, I don't really know the old bugger.
Oh.
But you said you did.
Oh, aye. No, I know naught about him. No, naught about Leonard Shoulder.
You're hiding something, Mr. Tillett. I don't believe you.
I say a lot of things when I've got the drink in me. I probably just wanted you to buy me an ale.
A likely story.
Look, what would I gain from lying to you? I just wanted another drink.
And a kiss.
Even if that's the case, it doesn't explain your disappearance.
Aye, I don't remember out.
About last night. You really don't remember where you went last night?
As I say, it's all a blur. I remember needing a piss. Then nothing. Well, you must have missed me when I came out.
I did not. I even went to the gents' toilets to find you.
Oh, aye. A sight for sore eyes.
It was. I checked everywhere, and you were nowhere to be found. The back door leading to the alleyway was blocked from the outside.
Oh, aye?
Yes. You must have exited through that door, Mr. Tillett.
But you just said it were blocked.
There must be an explanation.
My mind has drawn a blank.
Why was the door blocked? Did you block it?
I told you I don't remember. I've naught to say because I remember naught.
I found Mr. Shoulder's house, but he wasn't home.
Don't worry. You'll find him.
Staying here, Artie, fine. Oh, man. 3 cows in one night? Ugh. But, the new car that you have looks real good, Artie, fine. Was that like, a model up, or was it the same kind of car?
How's your headache faring?
It feels like a steam engine is driving full pelt in a circle around me skull.
Be sure to drink plenty of water, Mr. Tillett.
Aye. I'll survive.
So, you work here?
Aye. Bewley Station Master at your service. Would you like to buy a ticket?
Not just yet, thank you. I understand that some of the locals are not too happy about this new station.
Aye. I'd go as far as saying the whole village.
How long has the station been open for?
About 3 months. We're on the Midland Railway line. This employment's been a saviour for me. If I weren't stood here, I'd be drinking my life away at the pub right now. It's worth the occasional withering look from Cyril and the rest of them.
What does a station master do?
A bit of this and a bit of that. I don't wish to bore you with such things.
As you wish.
My responsibilities here keep me on the straight and narrow, I'll tell you that much. A sense of duty can do wonders for a lost soul.
Indeed. This must be a rather lonesome post to occupy.
Trains pass through here more regularly than you might think, lass.
I'm looking for my assistant, Kenneth.
Oh, aye?
His train has arrived.
Not a single soul disembarked the last train, Miss Bateman.
Impossible. Was that not the midday train from London by way of Derby?
Aye, it were. Mr. Price were here, unloaded a few crates.
But no Kenneth.
What?
Not a soul. Hold on. One of them crates had your name on it, Miss Bateman. A great big one it were. With
maybe Kenneth's
a
inside.
red ribbon.
Aye.
What is Kenneth playing at, sending my equipment but not himself? Curses.
It's inside. It's like a cake in like, where like the stripper comes out, except it'll be Kenneth naked except for a bow.
Where is my crate now?
Mr. Price took away all the crates on his cart.
Who?
Mr. Price, he's the postmaster.
Where can I find Mr. Price?
He lives above the storeroom, just north of the plough and furrow. You'll see it. There's a Royal Mail plaque on the wall.
Thank you. Where can I find Mr. Price?
He lives above the storeroom. You'll see it.
Thank you. I'm looking for Hobbs Barrow.
Hobbs Barrow.
It's why Leonard Shoulder invited me to Bewley.
Barrow.
He thought I might like to excavate it.
Oh, aye. I heard about a Hobbs Barrow somewhere out there. There's some old stories around it.
What stories?
I can't remember.
Oh.
Mr. Tillett, please. This is important.
I'm awfully sorry, Miss Bateman. I'll try to remember. If
Well,
he
this is
invited
not-
you here, then I'm sure Mr. Shoulder will tell you all about it.
That's if I ever get to meet him.
I'm sure you will.
At least he's not trying to
Farewell for now.
bargain for a free
Ta-ra.
drink out of that information.
It's like, since you're going, how about a kiss, eh? Oh, the cat. Wow. Speaking of cat. Oh, hello.
Good day to you, Cyril.
I'll do, lass.
True, he wasn't the P-Cat after all.
What are you up to, Cyril?
Keeping an eye on that bleeding railway station. That's what. Thankfully, no one got off the last train.
Really hate that station, don't you?
Oh, I curse Midland Railway for bringing their damn line through Bewley. This is our town, our land. 'Tis no place for outsiders.
So you keep saying.
Anyway, no more trains today. Almost time to celebrate with an ale, I think.
I could do with one myself.
You paying?
No.
Everyone's such a scab over here.
I found Mr. Shoulder's house today, but he wasn't home.
Why the bleeding hell should I care, lass?
I'm looking for Hobbs Barrow. Do you know where it is?
Mind your own business, lass.
You really are quite helpful, aren't you?
Bah.
Goodbye.
Ta-ra, lass.
Hooroo. Going to Cyril's house.
Why are you knocking on me bleeding door? I'm right here, you daft bugger.
Oh, apologies.
I love it. That's good. That's my house too.
I don't think anyone is home.
Tell you what, getting a new car is such a good feeling, for sure. Like having my old little Colt that I got brand new 2006 to getting a new car now. It's like night and day. Just the safety features alone is ridiculous. Like the going back from a car now that has like blind spot detectors and cameras on it and all that sort of stuff. Couldn't imagine it.
The bucket is rusty and full of holes. This must belong to someone. I should leave it alone.
wonder if they've left it. No, no auto parking. They're just north. I don't know the cardinal directions of the city. Maybe it's in here.
I don't think anyone is home.
Does yours already phone? Oh,
That must be the postmaster's storeroom.
here we go. Keypad on it.
Hello,
Good day. I haven't seen you in Bewley before.
I'm just visiting.
Lovely. It's nice to see a new face. We don't get many visitors. My name's Henry. Henry Long.
Nice to meet you, Henry. Thomasina Bateman.
Wonderful. What a treat.
Yeah, EVs would be good. We decided to go hybrid for now, just because there weren't enough charging points around to be able to charge on long trips. But hybrid is great too, because the engine doesn't engage until you go over 40 kilometers an hour. Everything is electric before then.
You seem in a good mood, Mr. Long.
It's just lovely to see a new face. Where are you from, Miss Bateman?
Originally, a small town on the outskirts of Derby, Mr. Long, though I currently reside in London.
London? I've never met anyone from London. How very exciting. Have you lived there a long time?
It's been quite a few years now, yes.
I've heard that the air there is so heavy with smoke, it makes it hard to breathe. Is that true?
Some days.
Oh, you must miss the fresh northern air.
Blandan.
Well, you've got that in Bewley. No factories out here. Such things are a blight on his creation. I were born in this very home I stand in front of. Bewley is in my blood. Why would I ever want to leave? Especially now I can meet new folk thanks to the railway line.
So he's a lover of the railway.
I'm looking for Mr. Price, the postmaster.
Oh, Mr. Price, my lovely neighbour. I'm afraid you've just missed him.
Curses.
I saw him wheeling a large crate into his
Mr. Price,
storeroom
eh?
just there.
I really need it.
Have a look through the window to see if it's yours.
Where did Mr. Price go?
I don't know. The man were in a hurry. I know he has family in Bakewell.
That's miles away. Did he leave by foot?
No, by horse. He must be a few miles down the road by now.
Curses.
Ooh, hybrid Civic. Sounds pretty good. Not too long, next year.
When will Mr. Price be back?
He didn't say. Could be tonight, could be a few days.
How infuriating.
I told him I'd keep watch of his storeroom, and I'm a man of my word, Miss Bateman. I shall not budge from this spot.
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
Aye, funny old fellow. I hear he lives way out on the moors somewhere.
Have you seen him recently?
No, not for a long while now that you mention it. Why do you ask?
It's a long story, but I was to meet him in Bewley.
So
He
is
invited
Shoulder
me
the
here.
piss cat then?
I must thank him when I see him for inviting such an enchanting young woman.
You flatter me, Mr. Long.
And that's why the glove would be there, right? Because he shape-shifted into the piss cat. But then his clothes, I don't know.
I'm looking for Hobbs Barrow.
One of those old burial hills.
Yes. Do you know where it is?
Believe it or not, I haven't set foot on the moors since I were a child.
Why is that?
I've got all I need right here in Bewley. And we are all truly blessed with the railway station, which brings us lovely new faces.
I think it's one and the same, Tongs. I reckon
We left the glove.
he's shape-shifted into the piss cat, which dropped the glove as part of the clothing. And then he fetched his clothes later, but left the glove on the floor.
Your opinion of the railway station
Also
differs widely
mean-
from your fellow townsfolk, Mr.
It's not actually pissed
I've
anywhere.
not met anyone particularly keen
Calling
on
a piss
it.
cat.
That railway line is the start of a new era for Bewley. Mark my words. There's much to protect here, but we need new blood. I hope that some of you visitors will actually stay here permanently,
Why is that?
so I have new friends to talk to. Some people here don't want any new friends. Cyril Farnaby, the miserable old
That's a weird
sod,
laugh.
is the worst offender.
I've had the pleasure of meeting Cyril. He really dislikes the railway station.
Absolutely miserable he is. I've tried to convince him many times that the station will help Yulie. He just doesn't understand.
I met him last night in the Plough and Furrow.
Aye, the scene of our many debates. Blimey. I could go for an ale right now, actually.
Can I buy you a drink?
Really?
No. Wait. Do you think Mr. Kemp will let me open a tab?
Perhaps. You could always ask him. I shouldn't leave anyway. Mr. Price is relying on me to keep
We could get him
watch of his
pissed, then we can go
storeroom.
steal the stuff.
Goodbye.
Don't be a stranger. The postmaster isn't home. If you're looking to collect your post, you'll have to wait until he gets back.
It's the one.
There's my crate. Kenneth always ties a red ribbon to it. I can see an envelope
yeah,
tucked
yellow
behind the
ribbon.
ribbon. Perhaps it can help explain Kenneth's absence. I'm going to have to get in there. Royal Mail, Postmaster's Residence. This must be the local post office. Royal Mail. This must be the...
Okay, so if we go to the bar, see if we can open up a tab, then say, hey, you can go and I'll watch this while you go. Shape-shifting into a piss cat is like his new favorite sentence. Oh, we should make a piss cat emote. That would be great. I'm gonna look into that.
By the way, the poor thing hasn't actually pissed in this game. It's all just insinuations by you all.
But she said straight out that it smelled like piss or something like that.
I'm sorry to ask this, Mr. Kemp, but could I please open a tab?
Still not in your purse?
I'm afraid not. My assistant hasn't arrived as planned, so I find myself in a bind. He must have put the money in my crate, which is currently being held in Mr. Price's storeroom.
Well, as you know, I run an honest establishment here, and I do trust you. So yes, I'll open an account for you, to be settled at the end of your stay.
Milky bars on me.
Thank you, Mr. Kemp.
Now then, I'll be needing something of value as a deposit.
I thought you said you trusted me.
Aye, it's not personal, lass. One can never be too cautious.
Let's give the silver necklace that doesn't belong to us.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I found Mr. Shoulders home, thanks to the help of Father Roach.
Wonderful. So you've met our vicar then?
Yes, I did. An interesting character.
Indeed. So, did old Leonard apologise for his absence?
Not quite. He wasn't home.
What is that man playing at?
You tell me. I've decided to find Hobbs Barrow without Mr. Shoulders' aid.
Are you sure that's a wise idea, lass?
What other choice do I have? I have a feeling he is avoiding me. Do you know where I can find the Barrow?
No, sorry. I say that on my mother's grave, Miss Bateman.
Say that on his mother's grave. His mother's grave is near the church, so maybe he's being literal.
My assistant has not arrived as planned.
Oh, is everything all right?
I'm not entirely sure.
Am I to keep a room for him just in case?
If you could hold it for one more night, Mr. Kemp.
As you wish.
How can I open a tab again?
Leave me an item of value as a deposit. I'll give it back to you at the end of your stay, when it will be time to pay the piper.
Goodbye.
I hope
So
we can
that's
give the
weird, right?
necklace.
Will you accept this silver cross pendant as a deposit?
Can I take a closer look at it?
Sure. The initials.
This one
is
looks
something.
like just like one of mine.
Yeah. I'm a guy like me.
Aye, silver. That'll do.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
That's
Kemp.
so good.
Can I get you something to drink?
Not right now, Mr. Kemp.
As you were.
Well, I reckon this is a perfect time to call it. We've had a good sesh. It is 2 hours and 40 minutes. Want to thank you all for joining. It is always a pleasure. Great conversation in here, especially about Artie's car. Good to see that you got a new one. Piss cat. Yep, I've got to write that down because I'm going to try and... I don't know how I'm going to get the piss cat emote, but I'm going to try and work it in. Piss cat. Much to Steve's disgust. Okay, let's see. I'll quickly do a normal save. Right here. Yes. All right, we'll see if there's anyone on at the moment. Ugly face when it's on the bed. Yeah, if I can find that. The only thing is when you get a clip, it doesn't have the same sharpness. All right, let's see. There's no one on from my list, but I'm going to see if there's anyone playing Hobbs Barrow. Other than me, it seems there is one other, maybe? Yes, there is. Okay. I will send you across to them. And we'll see you hopefully on Saturday. Hopefully on Saturday I should have my Rocksmith cable, so we can actually do the themed stream that I had planned. Yeah, that should be awesome. Waiting for it. I've done a lot of work on what is coming up, so yeah, hopefully we can do it. All right, it seems that
It's time for a montage.
it is time for a montage, exactly. It seems that this person is a little bit further ahead than us, but I'll send you over there anyway to share the love. Sending you across now. We'll catch you next time. Toodles.
See everyone. Thanks for watching.